Yeah, it's just a headphone thing.
How satisfied are you with live streaming on YouTube?
Not very satisfied right this second.
You're always so hard to please.
Oh, here we go.
What? What?
Copy video URL. Hey guys, if you're out there and you subscribe to YouTube and you know that we're here, how's it going?
How's it going? We are live from Sid Cichy Stadium in Fargo, North Dakota on the campus of Fargo Shanley High School, getting ready for tonight's NEFL matchup. That's Northern Elite Football League matchup between the Med City Freeze and your Fargo Invaders. How are the volumes there, Franco?
I think they sound pretty good. I think you could go up just a little bit.
Yep. That's what I was thinking.
Maybe put the mic closer to your face. I don't know.
Oh, that would be so wonderful.
I'm gonna turn me down a little bit.
You do that.
Turn you up. Turn me down.
So when last we left our heroes, they had suffered a defeat at the hands of the Sioux City Stampede in Sioux City, Iowa. We've come back home to the friendly confines of Sid Cichy Stadium, trying to keep our perfect NEFL winning streak at home intact for another week as we take on a brand new member of the NEFL, the Med City Freeze. The Med City Freeze are new to the NEFL. They came up from the Southern Plains Football League, which is a 9-man football league. They played the likes of the Watertown Rebels and other teams in that league. I had actually a friend from high school that played on that team, so shout out to the Watertown Rebels. But now the Med City Freeze are playing 11-man football along with the Fargo Invaders. And today they traveled by bus all the way up here to take part in tonight's game. So Franco, last time we were broadcasting, we were obviously down in Sioux City, Iowa. A few hiccups in the broadcast, but overall a rainy day down in Sioux City, an unfortunate loss for the team. The defense did definitely play well enough to win that game, but unfortunately not taking care of the ball last game kind of cost the Invaders last game, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. I totally agree because I'm totally not paying attention to you at all. Are you talking to me?
Are you talking to me?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this up on the, streaming to all the places that we need
all
to
the places and the things and the people and the stuff. So yeah, last weekend, of course, was Memorial Day weekend. So we hope all of our fans out there had a good weekend, a nice 3-day weekend to have some fun with family. And now we're back and ready for some football. So I see Greg Clark on the sidelines today, which is great news to see him down there with the team. If you didn't catch our game last week, Greg unfortunately suffered a season-ending injury to his right leg. He broke both bones in his right leg. Had to have surgery and a rod put into that leg. Very unfortunate. New member of the team this year was actually getting some playing time and really looking strong out there. So it's unfortunate for Greg. We're hoping also to see the possibility of one Rajanel Jean-Baptiste on the sidelines this weekend as he continues to recover from his severe neck injury that he had suffered against the Minneapolis Warriors in the opening NEFL game for the Fargo Invaders.
I know I'll be looking forward to seeing him. I hope I get a chance to see him.
Yep, absolutely.
On the sideline here soon.
We are actually starting early for once, so I almost don't have enough things to say right now because
I actually think that we should restart this because I've got it labeled incorrectly somehow.
Oh my God! What did you label it as? Against the Stampede?
Yeah, and we don't have anybody watching anyway. So.
Okay, good. Well, then I can say. Hoorah!
Tonight, your Fargo Invaders are playing the Med City Freeze, who have an overall record of 1-1. The head coach of the Med City Freeze is Tyler Graff. Now to introduce your starting Armstrong. Your defensive backfield for tonight, your starters consist of quarterback Josh Gatlin. Your safety is Steve Othello. And your quarterback is Mike Ford.
Why isn't this changing? Should I care?
What happens when you click on the link? I don't think it's up to the Facebook page. It's probably the YouTube page. Go to your YouTube page and see what's showing over there. What does that label at?
It says freeze.
Yeah. I mean, it's just sometimes, like, literally, I've changed like the picture on my podcast, and every time I post a link to that podcast, it uses the old picture on Facebook, and I have no idea why.
Yeah, I don't know why either. Hey, Sean, what's happening, man? You're lopsided.
Oh,
Look at him.
watch your mouth, Sean. Maybe someone should fix that camera, Franco.
Someone probably should.
Yeah,
I'll go out there.
somebody more qualified than me.
Did you do that?
I didn't do that. I didn't
Oh,
unlevel
my
it. I
goodness.
just scooted it to the left. Are we on? We're
We're
now?
online.
We're on.
We're on.
Oh my gosh,
And we're just up here just...
babbling like a bunch of idiots.
That's all right. That's normal.
We've got about 13 and a half minutes until kickoff here in Fargo, North Dakota. We are live at Sid Cichy Stadium on the campus of Fargo Shanley High School, getting set for tonight's Northern Elite Football League game between the Fargo Invaders and the Med City Freeze. The Med City Freeze are new members of the league this year. They move up from the Southern Plains Football League, which was a 9-man league. So they picked up a few new players along the way and have moved up to 11-man football to the Northern Elite Football League. And they are in town tonight after busing up from Rochester, Minnesota to take on the Invaders in our second home game of the year. If you're new to watching the Fargo Invaders, the Invaders opened the season with a 42-0 win over the Minnesota Mud Dogs and then traveled down to Burnsville, Minnesota to take on the Minneapolis Warriors, the defending champion. They came out of there with a 32-27 victory over the defending champs to go to 2-0 on the season. And last game, 2 weeks ago, prior to our team president sitting down so everybody can hear him.
He's so loud.
I know, it's so loud. They traveled to Sioux City, Iowa to take on the Sioux City Stampede, the top-ranked team in the Northern Elite Football League. And they came away with a 23-15 loss to drop the Invaders from the undefeated ranks. And they will try and get back on another winning streak as they take on the Med City Freeze today. So as we get closer and closer to kickoff, we will have probably more pertinent things to say. Would you say, Franco?
Absolutely. We just wanted to get online and get this going.
Make sure everything's working properly. I should probably switch.
Let me see. Send that over to Matt. Let's see if I can get him to post that on the page.
That would be
I just
perfect.
sent you the YouTube link. Could you make a post on it? Yep.
So if you are out there watching this on YouTube, feel free to comment. If you're watching this on the NEFL webpage, we can get all your stats updated by our very own team president, Matt Pesnick. That'll keep you updated on the scores and the stats for everybody involved if you go to that webpage. But if you want to chat with us, go to the YouTube page and feel free to leave your comments. We'll try to see some of those, but unfortunately, Mr. Matthew F1 Franco, who is the master mixer and producer of this show, has got daddy duties tonight for at least part of the evening.
Yeah, it's true. It's unfortunate I have to leave here, but I'm excited to go see my girls in the North Dakota Dance Academy, their annual
It's a big deal.
showcase. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're excited about that. I'm dressed to the nines. I'm looking quite good, I must say.
I'd say 7s.
Well, that's good for me, so I'll take it.
I'm not. I'm just dressed as if I just rolled out of bed. So
I keep looking at the sideline, hoping I see a Rochnell sighting pretty soon. You said you saw Greg?
yes, Greg. Greg is on the. There's a Gregory Clark is on the sidelines, which if you were able to tune in to last game, Gregory Clark's suffered a. I know we can't get that fixed for some reason.
It's not fixing. We don't know why.
It's a Facebook issue.
But if you go to the actual YouTube page, it's right.
Yeah, so for those people that are watching, the link on the Facebook page says we're playing against Sioux City, but when you click on it, it'll take you to tonight's feed, which, of course, is against the Med City Freeze.
I think Facebook's just mad at us.
Probably. Facebook takes a lot of the fun out of things. We couldn't We kind of filled in some music off the old iTunes, and
It didn't like it.
it didn't like it, so we lost our audio.
I actually think it was also picking up on the PA system music.
I do know that it picked up our audio from my iTunes because it identified 2 of the songs, which is 2 of the songs I had played. So.
Oh, man, you're quite the offender.
I know. Today, just in case you're not aware of what's going on with the Fargo Invaders, we did have a youth camp today. We had, from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock today, we had a football camp for a lot of young boys that came out to take part in that. We also had a cheerleading camp. We had a number of young girls come out and take part in that with the Fargo Invaders cheerleaders and North Dakota Elite cheerleading. And then the football camp was brought to you by Sloan Athletics and our own, obviously, coaching staff of the Fargo Invaders and some of the players. So it was a good
I also
time.
want to mention Micah Arnold, who kind of came in and saved the day a little bit today and really helped us out. We had a really great camp. Thanks, Michael. Micah.
I don't know what he did. What did he do? He was in charge?
He filled in for
Okay. Yeah.
so.
All right. Cool.
Yep.
And what else? To next week also, just so people don't forget. Tonight, obviously, there's still plenty of time to catch most of this game since we're only about less than 10 minutes away from kickoff. You can come out tonight and watch this game here live at Sid Cichy Stadium. And if that doesn't work for your schedule and you're watching us online right now, next week we will be at home once again hosting the St. Paul Pioneers, the 7-time champion of this league. Unfortunately, they did not win last year. The Minneapolis Warriors won it. But the St. Paul Pioneers, one of the best teams in the league, will be in town next week to take on the Fargo Invaders. And if you watched that game last year, it was a thrilling 14-0 win by the Invaders with a Jeremy Gordon 95-yard touchdown, a return of a fumble, which was one of the most exciting plays of the season for the Invaders. You going to say something? Or you just...
I was going to take my headset off and go out and fix the camera.
You fix that camera because I can't work like this.
Yep.
Andy's off. So we will not be with Matthew most of the evening tonight, so we're going to have to muddle our way through it. And obviously we've got other people up here in the booth to talk with. But I hope so. We might need someone to run the camera. But we will get that straightened out. As with anything that's a volunteer organization, some of these things come together at the last minute. And we will get things set up. As I see some of the former players and their wives getting into their seats to watch the game tonight. And as teams are continuing to get ready, going into tonight. So Javante Johnson, 1 week for the Fargo Invaders, set a team record for the most passing yards in a game against the Minneapolis Warriors. And then last game, he unfortunately followed that up with the most interceptions thrown in one game. So hopefully this week will be more of the same with more of the same, excuse me, as I'm trying to look at the camera. More of the same as far as the passing yardage and hopefully less of the interceptions. Med City is 1-1 on the year. They opened up, I believe, with a loss to the River City Rough Riders, and then last week they got into the victory column with a 41-0 win over the Minnesota Vipers, another new team in the Northern Elite Football League. So they are 1-1 on the year. Fargo Invaders are 2-1, trying to get things going here at home with back-to-back home games, followed up by a 2-game road trip down to La Crosse, Wisconsin on June 16th to take on the River City Rough Riders, followed up by a game in St. Cloud, Minnesota against the Granite City Renegades, a former NSFL rival who is now in the Northern Elite Football League. And so they'll take those guys on down in St. Cloud on the 23rd. Matt Pesnick, is that game been moved to St. Cloud University Stadium as opposed to St. John's?
I saw that on there, so it must be.
Is it the same time? 1 o'clock in the afternoon? Okay. Last we heard, we were going to play in the historic field for the St. John's University football team, and it looks like that game has been moved over to St. Cloud State University's home field, which is kind of neat. It's probably one of the bigger stadiums we'll play in. It's obviously St. Cloud State's a Division II team, so that will be exciting, getting ready for that in a couple weeks. And then the Fargo Invaders will return home on June 30th to take on the Hudson Thunderhawks, I believe. And then they'll be off for 4th of July weekend. Or actually, that's the 30th. 4th of July is in the middle of the week. Then they'll have a game on the 14th and 21st to round out the season. The July 14th game against the Minnesota Storm will be held at Moorhead High School, and then followed up by the season finale, if I can get the words out. On July 21st, we'll be here against the Minnesota Vipers. And so that will complete the 10-game schedule for the Fargo Invaders. But first things first, is tonight is taking on the Med City Freeze. The Fargo Invaders will be wearing their white helmets and white pants, teamed up with their orange jerseys. And we have a question from Matt. Forrest is now... What was his number before? 55? Yeah, 20. Once again, we have an unfortunate situation with the jerseys where the team that we're playing against had some jersey issues getting the jerseys on time. So we've got a few players that are mismatched as far as numbers go. The Freeze actually have 2 number 4s on the team, so there could be a situation where our quarterback number 4 hands the ball off to running back number 4, but hopefully that situation doesn't exactly happen. The Mid-City Freeze will be wearing their blue helmets, light gray jerseys, and white pants. So for those of you tuning in at home, obviously the Fargo Invaders are in orange tonight. Kind of the creamsicle throwback uniforms of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but a little bit different. I believe that the starters tonight have been announced over the PA. Is Wallow here? Last we heard, the starters, defensive end Cornelius Wallow, nose tackle Anthony Antonio, and defensive end Tareen Smith. Your linebacking core tonight will be Joey Eggert, Derek Alexander, Jeremy Gordon in the middle, Jameis Neal, and Jermaine Armstrong on that right side. Cornerbacks Josh Gatling and Mike Ford, along with safety Steve Othello. And that will be our starting defense. We do not have a starting lineup for the Med City Freeze, unfortunately. But now we know who is doing what. So we're going to mute ourselves. Maybe we'll be able to pick up a little bit of this with the microphone, but we're getting ready for the national anthem sung by Anna Voss.
Take 2. Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, and bright stars through the perilous fight? For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And there you have the national anthem. We are ready to roll here. As soon as I believe we get someone up here to run the camera. Is Amber going to take those duties again today, Franco?
It sounded like it.
I see you're on our way up here, so.
So what fucking camera
So we have a camera person now, which makes viewing the game a whole lot easier, wouldn't you say, Franco?
I would say so. So I'm going to admit, I don't know a whole lot about the Med City Freeze. I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what they're all about.
Yes. Like I said, I've been telling everyone that they are a new team to this league, and you'll find out along with us as we go along, to be honest. But they are a new team in this league. They've been around. It seemed like I saw someone wearing a shirt where this might be like their 5th year. So they've been playing a while, and obviously they have been around long enough that that they know what they're doing to get invited into this league.
Let's welcome your Fargo Invaders to the field.
And the Fargo Invaders appear to have won the coin toss, and they will be kicking off right to left on your TV screen or computer or smart device, whatever you're watching. So the Fargo Invaders defense will start on the field first against this Med City Freeze offense, and we will be ready to roll.
Good and Thurman back for Med City Freeze to receive the kick.
So if we can keep track of who's back there for the Freeze, it looks like it's Good and Thurman set both back deep to return this kick by Lazan Tahir. Lazan had a good week of kicking in that Sioux City game.
It's nice to have him healthy.
End over end kick taken inside the 10-yard line by Thurman. Makes a move at the 20, tries to get the outside, hit and taken down outside the 25-yard line. Looked like that ball might have almost kind of came loose in his hand. But that will set up Med City for their first possession of the evening.
Yeah, it definitely didn't look secure in there.
Absolutely.
First and 10 for Med City.
So as we get ready to roll here,
Invaders defense.
it looks like DeAndre Gillis, Anthony Antonio, and Toreen Smith are out there as the starting defensive line. So I do not believe Cornelius Wallow is here tonight, which is unfortunate for this. Oh, okay. I guess he is here. He's just been delayed, thanks to our information from our president. So starting at quarterback is Jake Sharpen for Med City under center or I formation. Looks over the defense, hands off up the middle, gaining a couple yards, bounced off a couple tacklers. Looks like that was Pruitt on the handoff. Starlon Pruitt out of Rochester Community and Technical College. Don't really know much about this team. Hi, Jerry. As far as stats go, unfortunately, their stats on our league website have not been updated, so I can't honestly tell you who is going to be their main weapons on offense and or defense. I think their quarterback last week, number 12, is not here tonight, so he's not playing, so Sharpen gets the start. Second and about 6 for the Freeze. Another handoff off to the left-hand side, trying to get to the outside. It's taken down right about the 35-yard line. Gain of a couple. Looked like Jameis Neal might have been in on that tackle. I see him sprinting all the way across.
Him in his orange shoes.
Yep, Jameis Neal is so quick to the ball. Causes a lot of problems for offenses when he's able to get a good jump off the line of scrimmage. So this brings up third and about 4.5 or 5 for the Med City Freeze on their opening possession of the game. Defense trying to make sure that they
No, say it on the mic. Have them do it.
got to reset the play clock here. So stop the clock for a second. I don't know I'm going to be able to keep the clock real accurate while you're gone, Franco.
I didn't expect you to. This is more practice for myself. I'm getting as much in as I can do it.
That's what she said.
We're hoping we've got things straightened out here and we can stay on with you guys the entirety of the game.
I want to point out to everybody that we are on YouTube tonight as opposed to Facebook, which has, being on YouTube has provided a lot more stable coverage for the team. And as the camera shakes, fans get into it. Some of the campers from the youth camp here in the stands today. So Med City going with a 4 wide receiver set here on third and about 4. Sharpen in the backfield along with 1 running back. Sends a man in motion. Jet sweep. Come around the end trying to get that first down. Ball's loose. Picked up by Vinny Holmes. He gets tripped up. Just had one man to beat the quarterback.
And he slipped it up.
The ball carrier loses the ball. Vinny Holmes right there. Johnny on the spot. I'll actually be Vinny on the spot, but still, you get my idea there.
Nice block by Derek Alexander there, too.
Absolutely.
Try to spring him free.
DeAndre Gillis was down there ready to lead Holmes into the end zone for the touchdown. Unfortunately, he gets tripped up and touched down. So that'll bring up 1st and 10 for the Fargo Invaders. Brandon Jones starting at running back tonight.
I told Brandon he had 15 minutes to score because I'm leaving.
And there is a timeout taken by the Invaders because we have one too many wide receivers on the field. We had a running back run on late. Quan Priestley came onto the field to be in the backfield with Brandon Jones, so that'll force the Invaders to use our first timeout on their first offensive play of the game. Good start for the Invaders, though, right now. Get the turnover on that first Med City possession. Didn't even give them a chance to punt the ball away. They were going to be close to getting the first down, but unfortunately they turned that ball over.
I think a storyline I'm going to be interested in this game is see how Javante recovers from the loss.
Absolutely.
2 weeks ago. He had a rough game. Let's see if he can put that all behind him and forget about it and move forward.
Looks like tonight the starting offensive line for the Fargo Invaders is Israel Hernandez, Devin Wolf, Antoine Bear Adams, Chad McQuaid, and Adam. Why am I drawing a blank on Adams' last name?
I am
Fake
too
the
now.
handoff. Jameis throws it out there. Caught. Touchdown Fargo. You betcha. John Bounty from Javante Johnson on the first offensive play of the game by the Invaders. Put 6 on the board in one play.
Man, that's a great way to erase last week, or 2 weeks ago. What a pretty pass that was.
That was beautiful. And that is Adam Reested. I was drawing a blank on Adam's last name.
Thank you for looking it up.
Yes, well, I had to because I'm the one doing the talking. Reisted?
Yeah, he told me that at practice.
Oh, well, glad he told me now. Lazan Tahir on for the extra point. Chad McQuaid set to snap it to Johnson. Set, kick is up, and it is good. So with 13:02 to go in this game, 3 plays run by the Med City Freeze and 1 by the Fargo Invaders, and it's already 7-0 Fargo Invaders over the Med City Freeze here in Fargo, North Dakota. I don't know if they can keep up that rate for the rest of the game, Franco, because if they get a touchdown every time they scored, I mean, they might score like 200 points.
I love it. Well, we need the points.
That's true.
We need the points in case of a tiebreaker.
Point differential is the tiebreaker in this lead.
And Sioux City put up, I think it was 93 points on the Renegades?
92, I believe it was, I think. Unfortunately,
90 plus.
Yeah, unfortunately for Granite City, they traveled to Sioux City and didn't have a full roster, and then they also had some injuries. So I mean, you can't hold that against them. They were more respectable against the St. Paul Pioneers. I see Mr. Sean Kaufman down there. So once again, Lazan Tahir will get set to kick this ball off. Our team president is cold.
That's why I brought a jacket today.
You could always, if you shut the window or something, Matt. Next thing that we'll need to get is get him a nice heavy jacket for these cold June days. Though it'd be nice if we had some better weather, to be honest. I mean, it's not bad. There's no rain tonight, Franco, but it's less than the ideal weather.
Since we have gotten a little plagued by bad weather in the last year or so.
And then we go from cold weather like this to like 90 degrees last weekend, so there's no in between. Tahir kicks this one off, end over end kick. Going to be taken by Thurman again, I believe. 15, 20, 25. Hit and taken down at about the 27-yard line. Nice tackle by Jermaine Armstrong and Quan Priestley. So that'll set up the Med City Freeze for their second possession of the evening at their own 26-yard line, trailing 7-0 after their first possession ended up in a turnover, and then the Fargo Invaders took immediate advantage of that and scored right away.
I like the effort by Quan on that special teams play.
Quan Priestley is a player that when we saw him play the first game of the season against the Minnesota Mud Dogs, really opened Franco and my eyes to how fast and what kind of a burst he has coming out of that backfield. So I don't know that C.T. Davis is going to get some playing time tonight. He's got some injured ribs, and so he might be just kind of taking it easy tonight, saving himself probably for next weekend's game against St. Paul, hopefully. When we might get to see Hayden Zenner back out on the field again because he hasn't played since that Minnesota Mud Dogs game. 4 wide receivers set for Med City. Quick pass out to the wide receiver. Number 7 gets out to the outside, gains about 6 on that play. And number 7 is Mohammed Thurman. So a positive play there for the Freeze. Although I would say watching the quarterback's throwing motion there, Franco, It doesn't look like if they have to throw into the wind that would be an ideal situation for the Freeze.
It is quite windy today, too.
It's quite windy, and it didn't look like he had a lot of zip on that pass, per se. But
Do we have any I think it's crossfield, isn't it? The wind?
yes, it's wind's out of the west tonight. Currently, it's 61 degrees. We'll be back in 10-20 minutes with an update on the weather. 4 wide receivers set once again for the Freeze. Snap, fakes the pass, handoff up the middle. Handoff is taken by 20, was that 21?
27. It looks
27. Should be Dustin Hick.
I guess another storyline I'd be interested in watching is Johnny Ware on the other side, on the cornerback on the other side. Last week he got taken advantage of a little bit, and it just seemed like he was on his game either.
Yep.
He's a better cornerback than that, and I'm looking forward to seeing him recover and have a game tonight.
Which, as coincidentally, as you say that, I see Johnny Ware out there opposite Justin Gatlin as far as the cornerbacks go. Landon Moline in at safety this possession. 3rd and short for the Freeze, trying to get a first down. Looks to throw it. Pass is caught and complete to number 6. That is Storm Soto. He is also one of the team founders, I found out.
It's a good-looking play by the Freeze.
Yep. Quick pass. Sometimes that's one of the hardest things to defend for a defense because you just kind of go and you stop and find that little soft spot in the defense and just pick up, 4 or 5 yards, just able to keep the chains moving. So that's the first down of the evening for the Med City Freeze. And I do see Cornelius Wallow getting everything buckled up on his part, so he should be out there shortly. Another 4 wide receiver set for the Freeze. Looking to throw it out to the right once again. Pass is tipped. I believe that was tipped by Toreen Smith, intended for Soto one more time. So incomplete pass brings up 2nd down, 2nd and 10 for the Freeze.
Toreen is loving the move from tight end to defensive end. He's really played well this year.
Absolutely. Toreen Smith, for me, I wasn't around him last year because he wasn't with the team last year. And so he previously, when he was playing for the Fargo Invaders, he was at the tight end position. Obviously with Nick Jackson on the team and now Levi Ramich on the team. Toreen Smith came back this year and has been switched to defensive end, and he's been quite impressive on the defensive line this year.
I agree.
Back to pass once again as the Freeze. No one open. Starts to scramble. Nowhere to go.
And he's going to get a sack.
Taken down just as we speak of Toreen Smith. There he is with the sack.
And he really played it perfect. He kept contained and went after quarterback when he had the opportunity.
Sharpen had nowhere to go. Forced to take the sack on that one. If he would have tried to force a pass or something, could have been into a big turnover. I see our former general manager and player, Nate King, down in attendance tonight.
Oh, it's so nice of him to grace our presence,
Yeah, I mean, he could even come up and say hi if he wanted to, but he'd probably talk about CrossFit.
Here he comes. He got his attention.
Got his attention. He's like, oh, they want me up there. I could talk about CrossFit. The first rule of CrossFit is to talk about CrossFit. All you CrossFitters out there, I'm just kidding. No, not really.
Nate belongs to Ice House CrossFit.
Yes, he
here in
does.
Fargo. What a great establishment they are.
Absolutely.
They've sponsored us in the past.
Trips to the left this time for Med City on 3rd and about 13, looking to pass out to that left side. Pass intended high, tipped off the receiver's hands. Pass intended for number 2, it looks like, Alex Benson. And just as we said, former GM and player Nate King, CrossFitter, and he's just got a phone call.
He's so important.
I know.
It's probably CrossFit.
It's probably
calling
CrossFit.
him.
He says you got to do air squats right now.
No.
Double unders. There's a microphone over here if you want to talk, Nate.
I don't like talking.
You don't want to talk?
Fine, you just stay back there and be quiet. Then you can't say anything.
You can just hear me on the back side of things.
I want to let you know that I drove by you the other day and waved, and you didn't.
I had a player very disgruntled with me.
Oh,
today.
jeez. Med City trying to get their personnel situated for this 4th down. Back to punt. It's one of the number 4s, I believe. 2? I can't see. Yeah, it is number 2. Punt is up. High spiraling kick. Josh Gatling calls for a fair catch. Ball will be down at about the 29-yard line by Med City. I think that was number 2, Alex Benson on the kick. Yep, that's number 2. He's got a hoodie underneath his jersey, so it might be good luck.
That's how you can tell.
I know.
So that disgruntled player of yours down there is that number 5. That kicker.
Lazan?
Oh, Lazan. He's
What'd you do to
difficult.
him?
He's difficult to deal
we're
with.
sitting at Starbucks and the line wasn't going fast enough. He's honking at me like I could do anything about it.
Did you tell him that you CrossFit?
No, I just told him, hey, you're going to be late for the game. You better get going.
It's almost like I'm a CrossFitter because I talk about it. So.
Well, why don't you join?
Because it looks like it hurts.
Yeah, exactly. So first play of the second possession for the Invaders. Pitch play out to Brandon Jones, looking to read his blocks, trying to get somewhere. Makes a couple guys miss, still trudging forward. Gains a couple. Called him down at about the 33-yard line. Gain of about 3 on that play by Brandon. Not a lot of room there for him to get to the outside, but managed to gain a couple. Nate wore his jersey today, so he got in for free, I believe.
No, I had some promotional tickets I got from the president on the other side.
Oh, that guy. He gives away tickets to everybody. So 2nd and 7 for the Invaders. Jones in the backfield once again with Johnson. Draw play up the middle of Brandon Jones. Nowhere to go this time. Breaks a few tackles. Breaks another tackle. Still on his feet. Finally taken down at the 25. But they'll mark his forward progress down at the 29-yard line. So that's a loss of 4 on that play. No running room for Jones there. So 3rd and 11 puts the Invaders in a passing situation here. Trying to get that running game going today. The running game so far this season has been kind of inconsistent.
Hit and miss for sure.
Once in a while they'll hit a big running play, and it'll make the average look better. But unfortunately, they haven't been real consistent with it. So a 4 wide receiver set this time for Johnson. Blitz off the right-hand side, gets that pass out to Kevin Irby. Tries to make a man miss, come up short. Out to the, looks like they're going to mark him at the 38-yard line. So it'll be 4th and 2 from their own 38-yard line. We'll see what the coaching staff wants to do here, if they want to try and go for it on a 4th and short, or if they'll kick it away. Looks like he's going to leave the offense out there. Coach seems to be pretty confident with this Invaders offense, and obviously very confident in that defense.
I wonder if this has anything to do with the beef he has with the former general manager.
The general manager from the Invaders, though.
That's what I mean, not punting.
There's finally the flag. Looked like Micah Arnold had moved prior to that.
I got my flag.
You did it.
It's working.
It's beautiful.
Woo! I've been trying for weeks, folks, to get that flag working.
Now you can talk into it.
Maybe I don't want to.
Well, I unmuted it, so you got to put it closer to your mouth, though.
I do
There you
enjoy
go.
watching the games at home with all the stuff you guys do.
I know.
We are quite entertaining, aren't we?
Exactly.
You are. My daughter listens to you guys and
Oh,
just
geez.
loves it.
I might be a bad influence on Lily. That's all I can say.
Well, aren't we all?
Yes. So 4th and about 7 now after that false start on the Invaders offense.
Did the family come out tonight?
No, I'm actually going to live here pretty soon for date night.
Ooh.
Got babysitter coming.
There you
We're
go.
out the door.
I'm leaving pretty soon too, Nate.
Everybody's just going to leave me here alone to do all this by myself.
You can handle it. We believe in you.
Tahir back to punt, gets this kick away. Spiraling punt, dies up in the wind, hits, takes the Invaders bounce. It's going to roll. Oh!
Bad choice.
Wow.
Bad choice to pick that
Bad
one up.
choice.
He gets destroyed
Kenny Daniels?
by Cornell
not Kenny.
King.
Cornell King. Kenny Daniels doesn't play for us anymore.
No, he does not.
He's in Alabama.
Cornell King, he made the choice to pick that ball up before it went out of bounds, try and make something happen, and Cornell King said, no, sir. You'll stay right here. So 6:53 to go in the first quarter. Each team has had the ball twice. Mid-City's had to punt once and turn it over once. The Invaders have scored a touchdown and punted once. So our clock is not accurate now?
No,
You turned it off?
I did. I turned it off.
Oh, okay, well then I just now I know, so I can give more updates on how much time is left.
And actually, you know what? The Invaders only have 2 timeouts left
That is
because they
correct.
called the timeout.
Isn't there a timeout button so you can just?
There is, but I didn't want it to flash.
Oh,
because
gotcha,
you know,
gotcha. 4 wide receivers set for the freeze. Looks like maybe a false start here against this freeze. They also
Flag.
have E.J. LeMayan at quarterback, I believe. Is that number 4? They got good numbers. It makes it easy to read. They just need to kind of turn a little bit for me.
Yeah, they're making it difficult for you tonight.
Not as bad as the Twin City SaberCats jerseys of a couple years ago.
That is true.
like that?
Those colors blended in nicely.
Yes, I could not see what the players' names or jersey numbers were on those uniforms. So 1st and 15 for the Freeze as Matthew F1 Franco introduces his father to everyone.
That's right. My father's in town from upstate New York.
John Franco. Sweep
Oh, good tackle.
tackle taken down by Jameis Neal once again, making another play. Once again, the Freeze trying to run that jet sweep. Just get that guy in motion, try to pitch to him, get to the outside. Unfortunately, that time it goes backwards for a loss of probably, see the 28, and they're all the way back to the 18. Probably a loss of 5 on that. Brings up 2nd and 20. Clock running under 6.5 to go. So trips left for the Freeze. I could leave the microphone off for you, Sean. LeMay back trying to pass, rolls to his left, nowhere to go. Taken down this time by Jeremy Gordon. Big Worm doing big worm things once again. Tackles him for a loss. That'll bring up 3rd and long. Med City, this possession, just simply going backwards.
I'll take it.
3rd and 23 about now. Inside the 15-yard line. Looks like it's where they got him spotted. I don't know if it's inside right inside the 15 or if it's back to the 14. It's always hard for me to tell on these angles when we're up in the booth. I see Cornelius Wallow out on the field now.
Yeah, I helped him with his jersey and pants today. Just like I never skipped a beat from a GM role.
Thank you so much.
It's like riding a bike.
Right?
You just never forget.
Called Matt, say, hey, where everything is. He told me. We got it.
It's just like old times.
Right?
So 3rd and long for the Freeze. Forced to pass this one. They could be conservative and run it up the middle this time. They get a couple yards. Get it outside of the 15 out to the 18-yard line. That'll bring up 4th and about 19. So they'll be set to punt it away once again.
All right, guys. I'm going to take off. Date night's calling.
There you go. Good to see you again, Nate.
Nice to see you guys. I'm sure I'll be back here.
Absolutely. And if not, people can check you out at CrossFit Ice House.
That's right.
Well, we should get the logo, Jace.
Yeah, no, get some up and unders.
I'll talk to Courtney.
Get some kipping push-up, pull-ups.
Handstand push-ups.
See you guys. See you guys.
Goodbye.
See you, Nate.
That was, once again, our former general manager and player, Nate King. He was one of the founders of this team, wasn't he?
I believe so. All-around good guy.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be leaving here shortly, I think, after this this punt here.
Okay. So set to punt it again. Almost got it blocked. High punt, not a lot of distance on that one. Let's see which way it hits and takes an Invaders bounce. It'll be out of bounds at about the 42-yard line.
All right, folks. I'm going to take off. Enjoy the rest of the game. Go Invaders.
Absolutely. Thanks, Matt. We'll hopefully maybe see you before the end of the game.
I'm hoping to get back here. Both the girls are in the first half.
Okay. Good. Well,
Part 1, Act 1.
Absolutely. Tell the girls to break a leg.
We'll do. Already did.
And hopefully we'll see you back here to wrap things up this evening.
Thanks, Jace.
And we'll see you again, John. So now it's just me solo, and I get the chance to play with the scoreboard. So go me, right? All right, so here we go. Solo like the old days, or at least older days, because it was only a couple years ago. 1st and 10 for the Fargo Invaders at the Med City 42-yard line. Javante Johnson handoff up the middle to Brandon Jones. Tries to pick his way through the offensive line. Nowhere to go. Not getting that offensive running game going anywhere. And then jumping in the booth is also Rule Johnson, our vice president, as he waves. He's a man of few words. Johnson running over to talk to the coach, get the right call in. So 2nd and 11. Invaders still trying to get that running game going with not much success right now. The touchdown came on a pass play to John Bonney. The first offensive play of the game for the Invaders. Johnson with 2 running backs, hands it off once again to Brandon Jones. Stiff arms 1 player, 2 players, bounces, and then finally taken down once again to the backfield. Running that crossbuck type of running play there, trying to get some misdirection with the 1 running back. So once again, they go backwards, bringing up 3rd and about 14. So I believe that the Invaders so far have passed the ball only twice. Johnson is 2 for 2 for 35 yards and a touchdown. For you Twins fans out there, the Minnesota Twins won today 7-1 over the Cleveland Indians. So 2 running backs in the backfield with Johnson. 3 wide receiver set. Johnson trying to get some time, steps up in the pocket, rolls to his right. Sees Kevin Irby down the field. Underthrew it. It is knocked down and incomplete, so that brings up 4th down. So 4th down and long for the Invaders inside of Med City territory. Oh, so we do not have that on there. All I have control of is the score. So we took the down and distance off. All right. Good to know as I look at the fancy schmancy system we have here. So 4th and long, Lazan to here, back to punt. Trying to pin the Med City Freeze back deep. Spiraling kick, trying to get to the coffin corner. Unfortunately, it goes out of bounds. Not quite the best kick for Lazan. Out of bounds at the 23-yard line where the Med City Freeze will set up shop once again. So as I hear our PA announcer reference a read, you could probably do the same thing. Otter Tail Mid-Dakota Coaches is committed to providing quality motor coach and school bus transportation services. In addition to our school bus fleet, we have 6 over-the-road motor coaches providing a variety of transportation services to groups in Detroit Lakes, Alexandria, Fergus Falls, Breckenridge, Pelican Rapids, and the surrounding lakes area. From 1959 to the present, Otter Tail Mid-Dakota Coaches has provided exceptional transportation services to Fergus Falls, Otter Tail County, and the surrounding communities. They are also the official travel partner of the Fargo Invaders. Handoff up the middle. Nowhere to go this time. Jameis Neal and crew are there to stop it. Nowhere to go. I don't know if he got back to the line of scrimmage on that one or not, but that brings up 2nd and 10. As I get the hang of the scoreboard as I step on my cord. About rip my headset off my head. Which is nice. So Med City trying to get some things going. Their running game, they've ended up with a total right now of 4 yards. Starlon Pruitt's got 3 carries for 10 yards, but they've got a -8 yards for Terrell Johnson. Sharpen back in at quarterback this series with 4 wide receivers. He's got a running back behind him still. Timeout taken by Med City. No, they're calling delay of game. No. Referee didn't see it. No flag on the play. Took a timeout.
No flag on the play. Timeout, Med City Freeze.
So the Med City Freeze used their first timeout of the evening. Need to mention the sponsors of today's youth camp. If I bring it up here. Today's camp was sponsored by American Family Insurance by the DJ Coulter Insurance Agency, Morgan Stanley, Molly O'Shaughnessy, financial advisor, U.S. Bank Mortgage, and their mortgage loan officer, Melissa Schmidt, and Kyle Olson at Keller Williams Inspire Realty. Obviously, Sloan Athletics was also largely involved in this as well, and we want to thank them for partnering with the Fargo Invaders football team, and say thank you for putting on a great camp today for today's youth. Hopefully we got some future Fargo Invaders, both on the field and cheerleaders. Looked like it was well attended today. So after the timeout, Schrader leads the offense back out. They're back in the I formation this time. 2 wide receivers and a tight end for them on 2nd and 10. Schrader hands the ball off up the middle. Nowhere to go that time. That'll bring up 3rd down. So 3rd and 10. 2 more rushing attempts for the Freeze, not getting anything positive here. Both teams' running games have been largely stagnant today. Although the Freeze have 4 yards total rushing, the Invaders have -5. So not exactly a clinic being put on by the two teams' rushing games. Both teams have been able to move the ball somewhat through the air. So Med City goes with a 4 wide receiver set. Schrader in the shotgun. Looking to his right, rolls out. Penalty flag on there. Jameis Neal misses the sack. Schrader gets the pass off, and it is almost intercepted by Vinny Holmes. Penalty flag on the play. Oh, now where did Franco put the button for the penalty? There it is. So we'll be holding on that play, which the Invaders look like they're going to decline and bring up 4th down. Jameis Neal had a chance at the sack that would have been pinned them back inside the 10. And then once that was missed, Schrader got the pass off, was almost intercepted by Vince Holmes. So that brings up 4th and 10. Oh. Oh, I see. You push it and you push it again. This is the first time I get to play with the scoreboard app. So back to punt once again. Gets the kick off. Josh Gatling back trying to field this one. Gets it at his own 40. Tries to get out to his left. Make a man miss. Still on his feet, still going. Nowhere to really go, though. Takes it out to about the 41. So all of that running across the field ends up getting about 2 yards on the return. So the Fargo Invaders will start this possession at their own 42-yard line as we try and update our scoreboard here. So 1st and 10 for the Invaders, and that is the end of the first quarter. That was the last play of the first quarter. So 2nd quarter set to go here.
End of the first quarter. The score, your Fargo Invaders 7, Med City Freeze 0.
So your score at the end of the first quarter, your Fargo Invaders 7, Med City Freeze nothing. In a game largely dictated by that very first possession with the fumble and then the ensuing touchdown by the Fargo Invaders. So now we'll switch ends of the field and get things set for the 2nd quarter and get going the other direction. And Elizabeth Scott said that she appreciated us updating on our broadcast, so you're welcome, Elizabeth. Med City also shared this stream so people can enjoy the game. Unfortunately, I cannot keep track of 2 things at once. So 1st and 10 for the Invaders at their own 40. It looks like they marked them at the 40-yard line now. Johnson back to pass, has time to pass, wants to throw it out. He's got a man running wide open, intended for Constant Jackson. It's wide open, but it was overthrown. So that'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Invaders. So we'll turn the clock off so we don't have to see that. Although it's still showing it, so I got that going for me, which is nice. Handoff up the middle, this time to Quan Priestley, breaking tackle, still on his feet, gets out to the left, running people over, gets all the way down to the Med City Freeze 40-yard line. That'll be a 1st down for the Fargo Invaders. So 1st and 10 for the Invaders, finally getting something out of that running game. I'm just going to put this game clock at 0. So don't pay any attention to the game clock on there because I cannot run it. Javante Johnson with trips right this time. Handoff up the middle to Priestley, picking his way forward. More positive yards that time. Another 5-yard gain, it looks like, for Quan Priestley. So that'll bring up 2nd and 5. I guess 4 on that play. So 2nd and 6 for the Invaders, as they're starting to get some things going on offense. Johnson looking to pass this time. Got some protection, throws this one out to John Bonney. He's got him there, caught, touchdown Fargo, you betcha. John Bonney, all he's doing tonight is catching touchdowns. Another long pass, about 35 yards from Javante Johnson to John Bonney. Quan Priestley with 25 yards rushing on that drive, helping set things up. So we'll put another 6 on the board for the Invaders, bringing our score to 13-0 right now. As Lazan Tahir gets set for the extra point. Chad McQuaid to snap it to Javante Johnson. The snap, the set, and the kick is up, and it's good. So it was 13:47 to go in the second quarter. Your Fargo Invaders lead 14-0 over the Med City Freeze. Seems like we have some discussion from the referees here. There's a flag on the play. Encroachment on the defense, and that is declined. So penalty is declined, and the point is good. So 14-0 is the score, getting ready to kick it off to the Med City Freeze one more time. So each time that the Invaders have scored, they've been able to connect on a long pass out to John Bonney, who's able to get behind the defense and go for 6. As I was saying, Sloan Athletics is a personal training business that trains athletes as well as adaptive fitness for individuals with disabilities. You can find Sloan Athletics on Facebook with locations in Fargo and Grand Forks. Contact sloanathletics@gmail.com and grab a business card from the concession stand at home games. At least that was last year. So Lazan Tahir getting set to kick this ball off. John Bonney making his presence felt tonight. 2 receptions, 2 touchdowns. Johnson putting that game at Sioux City behind him. Johnson's 3 for 5 tonight for 71 yards and 2 touchdowns. Lazan Tahir with a good kick, taken by, looks like number 1 at the 10-yard line. Moving out to his left, a lot of room, but then that just goes nowhere. Out past the 25, we're going to mark him down at the 29-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Med City Freeze on this drive. That was Lakeem Good on the return. So we are ready for another Fargo Invaders defensive stand right here. Looks like Felton Somerville, Anthony Antonio, and DeAndre Gillis are out there on the defensive line. Gillins, I should say. Derek Alexander. Jeremy Gordon. And Chris Momo out there at the linebackers right now. Under setter is Schrader. I formation, pitch play out to the right. Tries to get some blocking. Still on his feet. Vinny Holmes lays the lumber with his shoulder, but that doesn't slow him down. Enough for about 15, 16 yards on that play for a Med City Freeze first down. Running hard was Starion Pruitt. Pruitt with a nice run there. Simple toss play to the outside. Got some blocks. Got going downhill. Big collision between Vinny Holmes and Pruitt. Pruitt was able to stay on his feet for a little while longer. Gain a couple extra yards. So that's going to be 1st and 10 once again for Med City at the 45-yard line. here under the 13-minute mark of the second quarter. Try to run up the middle again once again with Pruitt. Dragging players forward, still going. Looks like a gain of about 4 on that play. Med City looking for a face mask penalty on that one. I don't see a penalty flag on the field. So 2nd and 6. For the Med City Freeze. Today, the coin toss was done by Mariah Prussia of MPX Fitness. She's been working with some of our Invader players. Quite the workouts that she has planned for the team. So if you're looking for a personal trainer, look up Mariah Prussia at MPX Fitness. Picks one-way handoff to number 40. No, not Pruitt again, once again. Running backwards, nowhere to go. And they will take him down. Derek Alexander trying to get the ball loose. And they will mark him down at the 41-yard line. Tempers getting a little heated between the two teams there. Pruitt not liking the Invaders gang tackling and trying to strip the ball out, it looks like. So loss of about 8 on that play. So 3rd and 14. For the Med City Freeze. Another passing situation for them. Clock running down to 11 minutes now in the second quarter. Jake Sharpen, if I can remember his name would be helpful. Back in the shotgun formation with 4 wide receivers this time. Trying to get something going. Pass, under pressure, rolls to his left, looking for a receiver, tries to throw it out, looks for a man there, and is picked off by Stephen Othello at the 20-yard line. Schrader kind of threw that one out, or excuse me, Sharpen threw that one out there. Joey Eggert and Stephen Othello were there waiting for that ball to come down. With that breeze, it just kind of hangs up in the air. And the Invaders were able to take full advantage of that and intercept it. So 2nd turnover of the game by the by the Med City Freeze. 2nd takeaway by the Fargo Invaders defense. So 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line for the Fargo Invaders. Brandon Jones and Dante Starr in the backfield this time, along with Nick Jackson, Constant Jackson, and John Bowney at the receivers. We'll see if they try and continue to get this running game going with Brandon Jones and Dante Starr. Johnson takes a snap. It's going to look deep. He's going to throw it out there. Pass was deflected. He got hit on the arm, excuse me. So that'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Invaders. So just enough there to cause some issues for Johnson on that pass. Try to get that pass out there, out deep to the right, but his arm got hit, so couldn't get everything on that pass, and it kind of fluttered. Could have been easily picked off, but the Freeze were not anticipating that happen, it looked like. So the ball fell in between a couple defenders. Johnson, quick pass out to Micah Arnold, who's back playing tonight. Unfortunately, pass goes nowhere. Micah Arnold catches it for a loss of 3 yards. So 3rd and 13 for the Invaders. Actually, we'll make it 3rd and 12. It's a little better for us. So 3rd and 12, passing situation for the Invaders. Johnson fakes the handoff, runs it himself, tries to get to the outside, turns the corner down the sideline. It's going to come up short of the 1st down, though. So 4th down for the Invaders. Just short of the 1st down, it looks like. 4th and about 4. So Johnson, who normally has not run the ball much this year, took off on that one, faked the handoff, rolled out to his right, tried to make something happen. Looked like he was going to be able to get there. defensive back, it's like number 22, Chris Wolf, was there to force him to step up, or get to the outside, I should say. And that did not allow him to be able to get enough for the first down. So Lazan Tahir set to kick. Unfortunately, the punt team is not prepared, so that'll take the Invaders to have to use a timeout. So with 8:47 to go in the first half, the Fargo Invaders lead 14-0, getting set up for another punt here on a breezy and brisk June evening here in Fargo, North Dakota. Still 62 degrees today. Last weekend we had every game was 90 to 92, or every day, excuse me, was 90 to 92 degrees. It's a hot one. But not today. Makes for good football weather. A little chilly for the fans, though. So Lazan Tahir getting ready to kick this one away. So 4th down, 4th and 4 for the Invaders. Tahir back to kick one more time. Gets the kick away, end over end, taken at the 42-yard line, and taken down right away at the 45-yard line by Derek Alexander. Looks like Good was on the return there. Hopping up in the booth now, makes me remember to read this ad. Hey, Invader fans, the fun doesn't have to end when the game is over. Take the tailgate home with you. Grab your phone right now and, oh wait, you're on your phone already? Good. Tell Siri to bookmark tailgatemaster.com. Visit the brand new Tailgating Lots page and share your thoughts about the game, or get inspired to try something new in the smoker or on your grill. Hundreds of free recipes and many, many things wrapped in bacon. So don't forget tailgatemaster.com. Fans, food, and fun. So Med City taking over at the 46-yard line for their next possession. Sharpen back at quarterback, tries that jet sweep one more time. Nowhere to go. Derek Alexander picks him up and puts him down. A loss of 2 on that play. Yeah, I guess it is 3. Good thing we got a good PA announcer here. So 2nd and 13 for Med City. Clock running, coming up on about 8 minutes to go in the first half. Kind of both teams still feel like they're trying to feel each other out. But the Invaders have taken advantage when they've gotten the field position, once off a turnover, once off a nice run by Quan Priestley, and threw that ball out to John Bonney for a couple of touchdowns to take a 14-0 lead. Sharpen looking to pass. Jameis Neal trying to put some pressure on him. Throws that pass out. It's complete and caught and taken out of bounds. Short of the first down. That'll bring up 3rd down. We're going to mark him out at about the 47-yard line of the Invaders. So 3rd and 3 for the Freeze. Trying to get something going. Derek Alexander comes off for this play. I see Anthony Antonio come back out on the field. Invaders going with a 4-man front this time on a 3rd and manageable for the Freeze. I formation. Ball is picked up by Cornelius Wallow. The Freeze were looking for a penalty flag on a false start on themselves, I believe. And Cornelius Wallow was Johnny on the spot and was able to pick up the ball. And that's 2 Johnnies on the spot tonight. Vinny Holmes, and now a 3rd turnover by the Freeze on a fumble that's picked up by Cornelius Wallow and returned for probably about 15 yards or thereabouts. So the last time they were able to get a turnover like this off a fumble, they scored on the very next play. We'll see if the Invaders try and do that again this time and strike quickly after the turnover. Bounty, Irby, and Constant Jackson all wide left. Nick Jackson is wide right. First and 10 from the 37-yard line. Caught by Constant Jackson. It's inside the 15, 10-5. Touchdown, Fargo. You betcha. Constant Jackson finally in the spot in the Med City Freeze defense. Catches it, makes a man miss on the run to the end zone, and he gets into the end zone for the second time this season, putting the Invaders up 20-0 with 6:42 to go in the first half. So now that's twice on fumbles by the Freeze that the Invaders have struck right away on a deep pass for a touchdown. So 37-yard touchdown pass this time from Javante Johnson to Constant Jackson. The nice move into the end zone. Kick is up by Lazan to here. That makes your score 21-0 here with 6:42 to go in the first half. So we have a moment. Time for another read. Moorhead Massage and Wellness Center. It is their mission to work with folks who are on a healing journey and want to stay on track with their balanced life. We also want those who are financially strapped to have access to the care they need. Because of this, we offer a different kind of pricing scale. For therapeutic massage, intuitive massage, access bars, energetic balancing, positional release, and Ayurvedic massage, contact Matthew and Crystal Franco at Moorhead Massage and Wellness. One of the best in the business right there. Matthew Franco. So 21-0 is your score. Lazan to here getting a workout today, what with punts, extra points, and now kickoffs. He's a busy man today. Score is 21-0. Bring up the stats once again so we can see how Johnson's doing on the day. Recovering nicely from that rough game down in Sioux City. He did have a couple touchdown passes, but 7 interceptions were really hurt. A wobbly kick there by Tahir, taken at the 10-yard line by Good. Still going out to the right. Taken down, gets all the way out to about the 40-yard line. Nice return, about a 30-yard return there for Lakeem Good for the Med City Freeze, setting them up with good field position at their own 40-yard line here midway through the first half. Johnson today, 5 of 8 for 106 yards and 3 touchdowns. I believe that, if I'm not mistaken, I had a cousin that played high school football, and the one time I went to watch him play, he had a half like that. Only completed about 3 to 5 passes, but 3 of them went for touchdowns, so can't complain with that. We'll see who's in at quarterback this time for the Freeze. Looks like Sharpen's back out there again. And we got one of the number 4s out there as a wide receiver. That should be LeMay. They do have 2 number 4s today because, as I said, they've got jersey issues waiting for them to get shipped by via UPS. Taking his time, takes the snap. Quick pass out to the right to LeMay. Taken down at the 42-yard line. Gain of 2 on the play. Quick pass out there into the wind, which is a little more difficult today because we do have a strong breeze. But overall, good football weather. A lot of people wearing jackets and sweatshirts today. And it's June. And this is coming off a weekend, like I said, Memorial Day weekend was a hot one. Now, 1 week later, we're about 30 degrees cooler. Next weekend, who knows what it'll be. So under 6 minutes to go. Second down and 8. Rolling to his right, gets the pass off, hits his receiver, Thurman, but it hits him kind of off of his hip, unable to make the catch. That'll bring up 3rd and 8. Oh, I'm still showing timeout. Got to take that off. 21-0 is your score. 5:38 to go in the first half. Med City's kind of moved the ball in bits and pieces. But 3 turnovers today is not helping the cause, nor is the passing game of the Fargo Invaders, striking on 3 long touchdown passes here in the first half. So Sharpen with 4 wide receivers on this play. The Invaders trying to confuse the offense by not letting them know which guys are coming on the pass rush. Felton Somerville getting there. Oh, almost picked off by Josh Gatling. He wanted to pick that one off and take it to the house. Unfortunately, the receiver turns into a defensive back as Josh Gatling goes and gets a few push-ups in to make up for his dropped interception. So 5:31 to go, clock stop, forcing another punt by Alex Benson. So this time, Cornell King back to return this punt. Stephen Othello's over there. Hopefully we'll be able to get a block. There's Jeremy Gordon. Freeze shifting a few people around. Got to make sure you're not gets sneaked into for Jeremy Gordon actually ends up taking that punt. It's tackled at about, they're going to mark him at the 33-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Invaders. I'm not sure that Jeremy Gordon's punt return skills will earn him more chances to return kicks, but we'll see. We'll have to see if Jeremy petitions to be able to be the return man now for the punt team. So 5:20 to go in the first half. Another possession for the Fargo Invaders, in control 21-0 here in the second quarter. Personal foul against the Invaders for what? I'm not sure. It'll still be 1st and 10, I believe, since that was on the play. Nope. The chain gang needs to come and pay attention. So 1st and 10 for the Invaders at the 18-yard line. So we'll see what the Invaders do this time, if they try and start off on the run, or if they want to try and hit them in the passing game again. Johnson in the shotgun. Hand off to Jones up the middle. Got a hole this time, still going. Bounces off another tackler, still going. Rolling forward is Brandon Jones with a nice run up the middle there. Gets out to the 34-yard line. That's enough for a Fargo Invaders first down. So clock running once again. Under 5 minutes to go here in the first half. So trips right this time. Cornell King out there at wide receiver now. Handoff up the middle. This time Jones nowhere to go. 3 Mid-City Freeze players right there to take him down in the backfield. That'll bring up 2nd and 12. Lost a couple on that play. The Invaders' running game so far this year has been really kind of up and down. You get a big play from a C.T. Davis or Brandon Jones, maybe a Quan Priestley, and then it's kind of some losses in the backfield. So kind of inconsistent to say the least. One of the defensive backs pressing John Bowney on the left side. Johnson tries to throw it out to him, does not get it in a position where Bowney can make a catch. So 3rd and 12 now for the Invaders. Clock stopped with 3:52 to go in the second quarter. Invaders defense once again playing well so far today. Forced 3 turnovers. I believe the Invaders have capitalized on a couple of those. 2 fumbles is when they've scored their 2 touchdowns through the air to John Bowney. Or no, second one was a Constant Jackson. Jet sweep this time to Constant Jackson. Drops the ball, picks it back up, gets going again, gets past the 30-yard line, rolls up and into Nick Jackson. All of that for a gain of 1, so that brings up 4th and 11. So that'll bring out Lazante here one more time. Lazan has been busy today. 3 extra points. It doesn't say how many. Doesn't say how many punts. It's not a stat, I guess. Number of punts today, though. Spiraling kick this time, driving the. Oh, ball is loose. I think that he touched it. Cornell's going to pick it up. And I don't know if he can advance it or not. I think they might have to down it at the 1. So they're going to down it at the 1 then. It will be Med City ball. Referees had to confer. Everyone on the Invaders sideline thought the ball had been touched. And as Matt Franco and I were talking, I do see Rajanel Jean-Baptiste on the sideline walking around. Still, unfortunately, has his neck brace on, but he's up walking around, which, 3 weeks ago, that was something we weren't sure if we were going to be able to see again, to be honest. Quite a dramatic situation, but. So they're going to give the ball to the Med City Freeze instead of the Invaders. It'll be 1st and 10 at their own 1-yard line, probably actually just inside. So we'll see if the Invaders can cause a play here to make a big play and get a turnover here. So I formation for the Freeze. Sharpen under center. Going to try and have to just push forward and make sure this ball doesn't end up in the end zone for a safety. Handoff at the middle. Running back takes it, gets a couple yards. Brings up 2nd down. So 2nd and 7 for the Freeze. Clock running, 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. Should be one more player before the 2-minute warning. Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining. Although it shows the Invaders with 1. No, actually the Invaders only do have 1. My bad. So 2nd and 7 at the 3-yard line. Or the 4-yard line for the Freeze. I formation once again. Toss play out to the left this time. Trying to get to the outside. Taken down that time. Joey Eggert comes in to clean things up, and that was taken down by number 41, Chris Momo. So another gain of another couple, but that'll bring up 3rd down, and it should be the 2-minute warning. So it should be 3rd and 5 with 1:48 to go in the first half. This is our 2-minute warning. So I want to tell you about Dr. Mark Vane. Fargo Spine and Rehabilitation with Dr. Mark Vane is a natural health center that brings uplifting awareness to the surrounding community regarding health problems through personal and business relations, supporting health and wellness within all people, from newborns to senior citizens, from office personnel to construction workers. That's Dr. Mark Vane at Fargo Spine and Rehabilitation. Also one of our sponsors, Discovery Benefits. Award-winning, people-centered. The cornerstone of our business is to provide responsive and flexible administrative services that create value for our clients and their employees. We are a customer-focused organization blending people and technology to provide high-quality customer service and administration. That's Discovery Benefits. So 1:52 on the clock. It's been reset. 3rd and about 4. I have it as 3rd and 5. Invaders trying to get a stop here on 3rd down and force the Freeze to punt from their own end zone. We'll see if they can do it here. Under center one more time. I would expect the Freeze to just try and run this ball one more time. Actually going to try and pass this one. Sharpen throws it out. It's got a man. Caught and taken. Fumbled it before he went out of bounds. Picked up by Landon Moline. Headed down the sidelines on his feet and knocked out inside the 5-yard line. So what of a turn of events there. Med City had enough for a 1st down after they decided to pass for it. Got the pass completed out to Alex Benson, went down the sidelines, but didn't keep that ball secured. It got knocked out of his hand before he went out of bounds, picked it up by Landon Moline, and return down all the way to the, I believe, the 5-yard line. So 1st and goal for the Fargo Invaders at the 5-yard line. So now it's time to see if we can get some of those goal line plays that the Invaders have been working on in practice, get them to turn out and get into the end zone one more time before the half. They're going to line up with Brandon Jones in the backfield along with John Bowney out wide left. Looking for Bowney, tries to throw it, fade to the corner. He catches it, and they got him in for a touchdown, Fargo. You betcha. John Bowney with his 3rd touchdown of the half brings the score to 27-0. It's been the Javante Johnson to John Bowney show here in the first half. 1:32 to go. Another Med City Freeze turnover that's instantly turned into points by the Fargo Invaders one play after it happens. Out of the 4 touchdowns today, the Invaders have scored 3 of them have come on the very next play after after a Med City Freeze turnover. The snap, the set, and the kick by Lazan Tahir is up, and it's good. So here we are, 1:32 to go before the half, and your score is now Fargo 28, Med City nothing. Javante Johnson really connecting well with John Bowney. And, of course, as always, the Fargo Invaders defense creating turnover after turnover today, setting their offense up in good position to capitalize, and they've been doing that today. As the tailgate master himself, Admiral Big Gun, watches, giving his approval. We've done Otter Tail, we've done Moorhead Massage Wellness, Dr. Mark Vane Discovery Benefits, Rumors Tavern and Dakota Cafe in Findlay, North Dakota. Stop in Rumors Tavern and Dakota Cafe for some hot food and cold beverages. Full breakfast menu Monday through Friday 6 to 10 and Saturday 7 to 10 a.m. Home cooked lunch specials and delicious evening menu items. Follow them on Facebook to find out about their steak fries, rib suppers, and live entertainment. That's Rumors Tavern and Dakota Cafe. Tahir set to kick this one off once again. Ball hits at the 15, rolls past the return man into the end zone, and they'll take a knee for a touchback. So with 1:32 to go in the first half, the Med City Freeze will once again have the ball and try and get something going on offense. Let's see, we've done that one. I don't think I have enough time for that one. Fargo Chair. Fargo Chair Rental has your chairs for weddings, parties, fundraisers, or special events. Their address is 345 19th Street, North Fargo. And if you say Fargo Invaders, you can save 10 to 15% off of your next time you need to rent chairs for your big event. So 1st and 10 for these Freeze at their own 20-yard line. 4 wide receivers set for Sharpen. Trying to get something going on offense before the half. Pressure right up the middle. Here comes Wallow and gang. Takes him down at the 10-yard line. You've got to get up high to get down Wallow. As Cornelius Wallow and the rest of the defense does the floss. That brings up second and 18, I believe. So 2nd and long for Sharpen in the Freeze, trying to get something going to no avail against this Invaders defense. Clock under 1 minute remaining in the half. Passes out of bounds. That'll stop the clock with 50 seconds to go. Brings up 3rd down for the Freeze. at halftime, I'm going to mute everything. We're going to leave the broadcast going to make sure that we don't have any issues like we've had in the past. But you'll be able to see our campers from today play a little flag football, maybe do some cheers on the sideline, and be able to see what they learned today. Man in motion for the Freeze. Sharpen looking to throw it one more time. Comes back. Pass is caught on a little screen pass out to the left-hand side. Running back still running, taken down by Josh Gatling. That was Tim Nella on the reception. And that brings up 4th down. 37 seconds remaining in the first half. Josh Gatling with the big hit. Did get about 13 on that play, brings up 4th and 5. Clock is stopped. I believe that the Invaders took a timeout. That's what it shows on the scoreboard. We'll see what the Freeze are trying to decide what to do. They're trying to actually consider doing something with it or just get their punt team out there. 37 seconds to go. The Invaders get the ball after this punt, and with decent field position, could potentially have another chance to throw another deep pass to get another touchdown on the board. And the ref signals for the play clock to start. 4th and 5 for the Med City Freeze. And it does appear that Med City is going to try and pick up this first down. Alex Benson wide on the right-hand side, giving him plenty of cushion. Easily pick up that first down unless Johnny Ware doesn't get out there. Pass is incomplete, so that means the Fargo Invaders, and we've got a little extracurricular activity going on. Penalty flag now. So that goes Chris Momo and one of the running backs from Med City. But it'll be Fargo Invaders ball, 1st and 10 right now at the 25-yard line after the Freeze were unable to convert on that 4th down. Not sure I would have gone for it there. Penalty is on Med City. Should be unsportsmanlike conduct on the Med City Freeze, so that'll give the Invaders 10 or 15 yards on that play. Is that a 10 or a 15-yard penalty, Matt? 12 and a half. Oh, that's right. Half the distance to the goal. That'll set the Invaders up 1st and 10 at the 12.5-yard line. And, of course, the Invaders are going to come out and try and capitalize on it. 34 seconds to go. No timeouts remaining here in the first half for the Invaders. Everybody's fine. I'm okay and you're okay. We're all okay. So the Invaders with great field position. Gutsy call for the coaching staff to have to go for it. But trailing by 4 touchdowns, you got to try and make something happen. So Javante Johnson at the 12.5-yard line with 4 wide receivers. Throws it up deep for Kevin Irby. Everybody's out of bounds on that one. Pass is incomplete. Brings up 2nd and 10. 28 seconds remaining. Did not take much time on that one. As I text Franco to let him know that everything's not the same without him. I'm sure he'll enjoy that. 28 seconds to go, 2nd and 10 for the Invaders. Trying to punch this one in the end zone before the halftime. Johnson hesitates, throws it out there. Kevin Irby locked up by that defensive back. Forced Johnson to kind of double clutch it and then try and throw it out to him. Once again, it looked like Kevin Irby had stepped out of bounds and was unable to make a play on that one anyway. So 21 seconds remaining in the half. Fargo trying to punch this one in from the 12.5 here. Referee's actually going to reset the play clock. Another 4 wide receiver set once again for Johnson. Handoff this time to Quan Priestley, trying to run it in. Breaks a tackle, gets in the end zone. Touchdown, Fargo, you betcha. Quan Priestley. Draw play up the middle for another 6 points. Fargo now leads 34-0 with 14 seconds remaining in the first half. Excellent run by Quan Priestley. Quan Priestley, when he's gotten the touches, he has made things happen. Just a simple little draw play. Takes it up the middle. Outruns one of the defenders to the end zone. Gets in there. 14 seconds remaining. 34-0 is your score. Snap, the set, and the kick. And it's good. Lazan Tahir remains perfect on the day on extra points. So your score with 14 seconds remaining in the first half. Fargo 35, Med City nothing. Here in the return home for Fargo after their 2-game road trip to 2 of the toughest teams in the league. Taking advantage of mistakes and miscues by the Med City Freeze. As our own tailgate master makes a Frozen joke in the background, he said, the cold never bothered us anyway. What? I know. Oh, I don't know whether to be really impressed by that joke or just shake my head, Scott. I don't know. That's yeah, hashtag dad joke. If you say that, then it makes perfect sense. Then it's perfect. Is that rushing yardage for the team, or that's not just for Quan, is it? I was going to say he doesn't have 100 yards in the game. Quan Priestley now with 3. It does say 111 yards, Matt.
I know. I did Invaders 13 instead of
Oh, gotcha. Kicked off, makes the guy go back into the end zone, brings it out. Trying to get out past the 20-yard line. Taken down that time by Levi Romich at about the 21-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Freeze. 6 seconds to go in the first half. We'll see if they try and throw this one out there, or if they're just going to take a knee and get to halftime down 35-0. So we look at the team stats here. 1 intercept. No, that's not right either. Med City's lost 3 fumbles, 1 interception, and then also went for it on 4th down at their own 25-yard line, which really came back to bite them with this Invaders offense. So 1st and 10, it does look like the Freeze are going to try and run a play and get something positive here right before the halftime. Now, actually, I take that back. It looks like they're going to take a knee. They do take a knee to get the clock going. 3, 2, and 1, and that is the end of your first half. With the score, Fargo Invaders 35, Med City Freeze nothing. We're going to have the camera going to show the campers from the Fargo Invaders camp, show everybody what they learned today, but we'll be back in about 12 minutes for the second half. So the camera will be rolling. The sound will not be, however. And so don't fret. Broadcast is still going, and we'll be back in 12 minutes with your second half. Live from Sid Cichy Stadium in Fargo, North Dakota. Your score 35-0. Fargo leads Med City. All right, I guess we're back and ready to roll. As our chain gang gets across the field. And the Invaders, oh, something goes. Paper gets out on that field. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Some more confusion on the return team for the Fargo Invaders, but it looks like they're ready to go. So we're now at the third quarter. Nope, that's not the right button. Oh, we did have a halftime button. I did not know that. So third quarter set to begin. Maybe I'll play with the clock a little bit here. 35-0 is your score. As Med City kicks this ball off to start the second half. Taken and dropped by Jordan Perkins, but picks it back up. Tries to read his blocks. And gets spun down, taken out at the 25-yard line. And as soon as I said that, I didn't start the clock. So here we go. Second half, 35-0 is your score. We'll see if the Fargo Invaders try and work on a few things for next week, as they have a big match with the St. Paul Pioneers, who are coming to town. 7-time league champion. And obviously one of the elites of the Elite Football League. Halftime or scores from around the league. The Northland Bulls beat the River City Rough Riders 27-19 today for them to get their first win of the year. Pioneers are up 10-6 over the Fox Valley Force. Handoff up the middle. Brandon Jones nowhere to go that time. Taken down immediately. Loss of 2 on the play. So 2nd and 12, clock running. Somehow it's already 10 seconds off. Sioux City Stampede leading the Minnesota Vipers 46-0 at halftime, I believe. And the Hudson Thunderhawks up 14-0 over the Granite City Renegades. Pass out to the outside to Constant Jackson. Tries to make a man miss. Gets out to about the 32, 33-yard line. Gain of about 8 on that play. Third and 3 for the Invaders. Gotta move this chair out of the way, I believe. So Fargo is probably going to be content with trying to run as much time off the clock with every possession that they have as possible, as opposed to trying to score as quickly as possible. Man in motion, hands it off to Brandon Jones, tries to get to the outside to get that first down. Turns the corner, gets taken out at the 35-yard line. It'll be a yard short. Looked as though he had enough room to get that first down. Unfortunately, the defender got a hold of him by the back of the jersey and prevented him from getting it. We'll see if the Invaders trot out their jumbo package and try and work on some short yardage situation here. Brandon Jones still in the backfield with Javante Johnson. Trips to the right here. Johnson goes under center, just tries to bull forward. Unfortunately, does not make it. So that'll be a turnover on downs for the Invaders. Possession turns over to the Med City Freeze. So 1st and 10. Oh, it was actually fumbled? Oh. So that was fumble on the play by Johnson, rather than being able to run it. That ball was recovered, I believe, by Scott Moching, defensive end, linebacker out of Kenyon Wanamingo High School. So 1st and 10 for the Med City Freeze at the 35-yard line of the Fargo Invaders. Sharpen takes a snap, looks to pass. Pass is dropped by the receiver. So that brings up 2nd and 10. Try a little swing pass out to the receiver. Looks like a pass was intended for Lucas. No, that's not Lucas Jensen. He is wearing number 9. Matt, do you have any idea who number 9 is? Oh, do they have 2 number 9s today? Just the one? Terrell Johnson. It's the intended receiver. I guess Lucas Jensen, the other number 9, is not here today.
He used to be number 23.
That's right. So 2nd and 10 for the Med City Freeze. Sharpen looking to pass. Forced to roll to his right. Going to just take it off and run. Stays in bounds and then gets out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. So 12:31 as I try and do the clock by myself. So 3rd and about 2 for the Mid-City Freeze. Did you get a total on the tickets there, Matt, on our attendance today?
It says we got 291, but there's no. It's closer to 500.
About 500 people today here in attendance for this game. So 3rd and short for the Freeze. Sharpen in that pistol formation. Takes the snap, looking to pass. Throws it out. Does not get it to Johnson. So 4th down for the Freeze. More than likely to go for it here. Best field position of the day for them. So 4th and 2. The Fargo Invaders 28-yard line. Oh, 27. So we'll see if they are able to convert and keep possession here. Trips left for Sharpen. Joined in the backfield by running back Pruitt. See if they try to hand it to him up and trying to get him loose up the middle. Sharpen to pass, under pressure, nowhere to go. It's going to be taken down by Antonio. DeAndre Gillis and Tareen Smith all in the backfield. Sacks him for about an 8-yard loss. So that's a turnover on downs, and it's Fargo Invaders ball. So 11:33 to go here in this quarter. Just underway in the second half. Both teams have gone for it on 4th down, both unsuccessful. Referee seems to be talking to Jeremy Gordon and Josh Gatlin about something, I'm not sure. So Javante Johnson and the offense back out on the field. Mid-City rushes. Pass caught and complete. Cornell King. He's got enough for a 1st down at the 46-yard line of the Invaders. That'll be enough for another Fargo Invaders 1st down. Just the distance here. So 1st and 10 for the Invaders. Delayed handoff the middle to Quan Priestley. Gets it back to the line of scrimmage and nothing more. Never more. So clock running on the broadcast is a couple seconds behind. Best I can do for now. So 2nd and 10 for the Invaders at the 46-yard line. A little more up-tempo in their offense, trying to keep things moving. See Hayden Zenner warming up on the sideline. We'll see if he gets a chance to get in. Johnson scrambles to his left, ends up throwing that one away. Nobody there. That'll bring up 3rd down. So 3rd and 10 for the Invaders. After the nice catch by Cornell King to get that 1st down, 2 incompletes, or actually an incomplete pass and a rush for no gain. So we'll see what the team does here on 3rd and 10. It'd be nice to see if we can get Hayden Zenner out there to play a little bit today. Johnson under pressure, rolling to his right, throws a pass out there. Just kind of throws that one away. Closest receiver intended was Nick Jackson. That'll bring up 4th and 10. So 4th and 10 at the 46-yard line. Looks like Chris, what is his name and last name? Chris Rendell will be on to punt it away for the Fargo Invaders. His first attempt, I believe, this season to punt. I could be wrong. And once again, the Invaders special teams having some issues. Once they got everybody out there. Bad snap. Gets past Chris Rendell. Bobbles it. Ball's still loose. Now it's picked up by the Invaders. And that's going to be a huge loss on that play. So now that sets up Med City with great field position. 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. So 10 minutes and 1 second to go in the third quarter, excuse me. Sets up the Med City Freeze for the first time today inside the red zone on a bad snap. And Chris Rendell was not able to get that ball, able to fall on it or anything to mitigate the loss. So now the Fargo Invaders defense will have to step up and prevent a score here to keep their shutout alive here in the 3rd quarter. Sharpen out there with 4 wide receivers again. And Pruitt in the backfield with him. Quick pass out to the left. Pass intended and caught by E.J. LeMay. Gain of about 2 on that play. So 2nd and 8 at the 11-yard line, or is that the 10? So 2nd and 8 for the Med City Freeze in scoring position. 9.5 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. A little bit sloppy here in the first few possessions for both teams. Man in motion. Another jet sweep for Johnson. Tries to turn the corner. Doesn't get there. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. So 3rd and 8 at the 10-yard line for the Med City Freeze. So we'll see if the Invaders can hold 2 more plays. With them being this close now, I'm not sure if the Freeze were going to, if they get stopped on this play, I'm not sure if they're going to try and go for the touchdown. I mean, if they want to have a chance of winning, they're going to need to. However, we'll see if the coaching staff just wants to try and get some points on the board and go for the field goal, but that's all yet to be determined because we still have 3rd down here. Three receivers on the one side for Sharpen, rolling to his left, looking for a man, throws it out there, no one home. Looks like the wide receiver broke that pass pattern off and went to the front of the end zone in the corner instead of going to the back. So pass is incomplete. It brings up 4th down. And the Med City Freeze will indeed keep the offense out there, trying to get in on the scoreboard by getting into the end zone. 8:12 remaining. Got to keep resetting the clock here because it's not something I'm used to doing. So 4th and 8 for the Freeze. Going 2 wide on each side this time. Sharpen trying to get something going, get his team into the end zone. Sharpen back to Pat, looking to his right, throws it out there. He's got a man caught and dropped. That pass was intended for good, or no, excuse me, for Alex Benson. So the Fargo defense holds after that last possession by the offense, which forced them to into a punt. And then there was a bad snap, and the ball went through the hands of the punter to no avail. Med City still cannot get on the board. 8:06 remaining in the third quarter. Fargo controlling the Med City Freeze on defense. So Javante Johnson, the offense, comes back out. Dante Starr in the backfield with Johnson. Trips to the left. Johnson fakes one way, gets the pass out. Intended for Nick Jackson, thrown a bit behind him, gets hit, drops the ball. Nick looked a little bit shook up on that play, but thankfully he's okay. So 2nd and 10, as I update this for everybody. 2nd and 10 at their own 10-yard line. See what the offense has dialed up for this play. Two wide receivers each side this time for the Invaders. Constant Jackson on the out pattern. Catches at the 20-yard line. Tries to dance and make a man miss. Gets taken out at about the 23-yard line, but that's enough for a Fargo Invaders first down. Seemed to be Dante Starr and number 5, Todd Bland Jr. having some look like rock, paper, scissors, a little Rochambeau going on the sideline there. Not sure who won that one. Quan Priestley returns to the game right now. Back in the backfield once again. See if we got the stats updated. Quan Priestley, 4 carries, 37 yards, and a touchdown today. Delayed handoff to Quan Priestley. A hole opens up for a minute. Gets a block from John Bonney. Tries to turn the corner. Gets taken out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Kind of thrown down hard after that. Second. Is that enough for a first down? Yes, another first down for the Fargo Invaders. Nice run by Quan Priestley there. Another 11 yards. He'll be up to 48 yards on the day. So 1st and 10 from the Fargo Invaders' 34-yard line. To reset the game clock on the scoreboard here. Johnson looking to pass, throws it out deep, intended for Constant Jackson, overthrown and out of bounds. Brings up 2nd and 10. Tried to hit Jackson going down the sideline. Kind of ran out of room. Didn't give his quarterback a lot of room to be able to fit that ball into. So 2nd and 10 for the Invaders at their own 34-yard line. Cornell King out there, wide receiver now. Looks like Garrett McKinney in at running back. Johnson under pressure, has to step up, makes 2-man miss, still got the ball, got plenty of time to throw it, throws it out to Nick Jackson. Oh, too high. Pass incomplete. Nick Jackson was behind the coverage. However, he wasn't able to adjust for that pass, and Johnson overthrew Nick Jackson. Had Nick been able to come down with that, he would have been possibly off to the races, depending on if those defensive backs could have tracked him down. So 3rd and 10, 6:09 remaining in the third quarter, excuse me. We'll see what they do. Garrett McKinney in the backfield. Double tight formation, 2 tight ends. Switches to McKinney's spot. Moves him behind him. Fakes the handoff to McKinney. Screen pass to John Bonney. Has to make a man miss. Nowhere to go. That'll lose some yardage there. So that'll bring up 4th down and 16. Under 6 minutes now in the 4th quarter. Lazante here into punt this time. We'll see if we get a better snap. I believe Chad McQuaid's out. Excuse me, Chad McQuaid's out there to snap this one. There's the snap this time. Tahir gets it, spiraling kick. Called for a fair catch at the 40-yard line. So Good with the fair catch. 5:13 remaining. Here in the 3rd quarter, Med City takes over at their own 40-yard line. Trucking along through this 3rd quarter. Kind of similar to the 1st quarter, where at the end of the 1st it was only 7-0, but then Fargo scored 4 times in the 2nd quarter to take control. Recapping our scoring, Fargo got on the board with a 25-yard touchdown pass from Javante Johnson to John Bowney. Then early in the 2nd quarter, Johnson found John Bowney again for a 36-yard touchdown. And then the next touchdown was Johnson to Constant Jackson for 37 yards. And then once again, back to John Bowney for a 5-yard touchdown pass. And then it was capped off by a 13-yard run by Quan Priestley to make it 35-0. Lazante here 5 for 5 on those extra points. E.J. LeMay back in a quarterback, running in the wrong direction, trying to buy some time to throw it out there. Still going, still on his feet. And after all of that, he's going to end up losing 2 yards on the play. Which, considering it was only a loss of 2 on that play, it could have been a loss of about 20 on that play. EJ just trying to make something happen. So 2nd and 12 for the Freeze. Clock running right now. Mine shows just under 5, but we're about 30 seconds off on the broadcast clock. 4 wide receivers for the Freeze. LeMay still at quarterback. Hand the ball off the middle, trying to pick his way through. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage +1, so it'll be 3rd and 9. So 3rd and 9 as we're just passing the 4-minute mark here. I wouldn't say a lot of the energy has been taken out of the crowd right now, but there hasn't been a lot to really cheer about from the Fargo Invaders offense. Defense has been playing spectacular once again, providing pressure on their quarterbacks when they try and get back in there to pass, and coming up with key turnovers. Med City has not turned the ball over yet this half. I believe they had 4 turnovers in the first half, which cost them dearly. So 3rd and 9, 4 wide receivers set for LeMay. Penalty flag. False start. Update the clock here quickly. So back them up 5 yards. It'll be 3rd and 14. So once again, Med City, 3rd and 14, 3:14 to go. Oh, clock is already running. That's what's going on. That's why my clock is off. So LeMay stays in at quarterback for this series. Running back behind him with 4 wide receivers. Drops back to pass. Under pressure, is going to have to scramble. Almost taken down there. Still running. Still going. Gets past the line of scrimmage. Is going to have to run now for that first down. Tries to get to the outside. And gets taken out of bounds at the 50-yard line. Looks like we got a player down for the Invaders. Nope, Derek Alexander gets back up. So 4th and 1 for the Freeze. Guess they kept that clock running. So 4th and 1 at the 50-yard line. Nice play by LeMay. Looked like there was a couple times he could have been sacked for a loss. But able to scramble out of that and keep going. And almost be able to pick up that first down. So under 2 minutes already here in the third quarter. Your score 35-0 Fargo. So 4th and 1, we'll see if they... Nobody's ready for the snap. Nowhere for LeMay to go. And he gets taken down by Jameis Neal. And that'll be first down for Fargo after LeMay was caught off guard by that snap. So once again, the Fargo Invaders defense comes up big, forces a Med-City Freeze turnover. We'll see if the Invaders offense can match the intensity of the Fargo Invaders defense and get another score on the board. So right now we're at 8 o'clock in Fargo, North Dakota, where it's 60 degrees and windy, but perfect football playing weather for Northern Elite football. So 1st and 10 now for the Invaders. Mark the ball down at the 44-yard line of the Med-City Freeze. We'll see if the Invaders continue to try and work on this running game. Pass is tipped, and it's intercepted and taken down all the way to the Fargo Invaders' 41-yard line. Pass was tipped, intended, I'm not sure. I think that might have been intended for Kevin Irby. So there's the first interception of the day by Javante Johnson. Brings up 1st and 10 in decent field position for the Med-City Freeze. 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. 1 minute, 30 seconds to go in the third quarter here, folks. E.J. LeMay stays in at quarterback for the series. Snap, hand the ball off the middle. Taken down immediately by Jameis Neal. Loss of 3 on the play. Bring up 2nd down and 13. No time for the running back even to really react there. As soon as he got the ball, he was taken down. So 2nd and 13. Now back at the 45-yard line of the Invaders. Hope I didn't click that. Sharpen in at quarterback now. Sharpen talks to his running back, make sure everything's ready to go. Looking out to the right, can throw it out to Storm. Soto catches a pass, stiff arms Perkins down the sideline, gets pushed out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. So that's enough to put it at 3rd and 1. Clock's still running. I don't know if they're going to have time to get another playoff before the end of the quarter. They don't have to. So it looks like they're not going to get time to get this one off. And that's the end of the third quarter, folks. No score by either team in the third quarter. So your score remains Fargo Invaders 35, Med-City Freeze nothing. And we're through 3 quarters here in Fargo, North Dakota. So 3rd and 1 as we start the fourth quarter. Got to get through another one of our reads. Oh, I had to bring it up in Word. Freedom Equity Group is leading the Living Benefits Crusade. Every year, 6 million people are diagnosed with a heart attack, stroke, or cancer. 70% of those will not die, and more than half go bankrupt in the process. Switch to a financial solution which ensures your family's quality of life. Learn more about the evolution of the Living Benefits Crusade by contacting Brent Lundgren at 701-238-8211. That's Freedom Equity Group, and ask Brent about the living benefits. So as we get ready to start this final quarter, Med City faces a 3rd and 1 on the Fargo Invaders 34-yard line, excuse me. Trying to keep this drive going, trying to get on the board for the first time today against this Fargo Invaders defense. Sharpen takes the snap, looking to pass. Throws it out deep. In and out of the hands of number 7, Thurman. So 4th and 1 now. We'll see what the Freeze do. There's a penalty flag on the field. So penalty flag lined up in the neutral zone was the Fargo Invaders. So 5 yards will give them a first down. So 1st and 10 now for the Med City Freeze inside the 30-yard line of the Fargo Invaders. At the 28-yard line. So early stages here. Med City creeping ever closer to that goal line. High snap, Sharpen gets it, tries to throw back. Throws too high, intended for his receiver. Perkins tried to go up and get that one to come down with an interception. Too high for him as well. So 2nd and 10 for the Freeze. Looks like DeAndre Gillens is getting a hamstring stretched out. Hopefully it's nothing major for DeAndre. Getting some quality playing time. Casey Lasky ended up, we thought originally was a broken bone in his hand, ended up having to have surgery on some tendons in his thumb. And we lost him for the season after that first game against the Minnesota Mud Dogs. So we've had 3 major season-ending injuries for the Invaders so far this season. Sharpen looks to pass, tipped up in the air, but it's caught. Nope, dropped it. Had come down with it, but once he got hit and came to the ground, ball came loose. Ruled an incomplete pass. That brings up 3rd and 10 for the Med City Freeze. As we truck on through the night here at Sid Cichy Stadium in Fargo, North Dakota. So 3rd and 10 for the Freeze. Still looking to get their offense on track. 4 wide receiver set once again for Sharpen. Drops back to pass. Got some pressure there. Tries to throw it out. Nobody there. Only person there is a Fargo Invaders defender. That's Johnny Ware with the interception. And penalty flag comes in. We'll see who that's on. So once again, the Fargo Invaders defense with another takeaway, pending the outcome with the penalty flag. Seems as though the Med City players are a little upset about whatever the call is. So as it stands, he's out of bounds at, I believe, the 18-yard line. Or was that the 28-yard line? So 14-10. 1st and 10 for the Invaders. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the Invaders. Not sure which player that was on, but unsportsmanlike conduct. And if it's the right type of penalty, if you get, it's same as the college rule or the NFL rule, excuse me. You get 2 of those, and you'll be disqualified from the game. And I'm not sure if in this league you'll get kicked out for the following game as well. Do you know who that penalty was on? Okay. So 1st and 10 after the turnover. Get our timeouts back on the scoreboard. So 1st and 10 now from their own 14-yard line. As Fargo Invaders try to get something going here on this drive. Brandon Jones in the backfield behind Javonte Johnson, who's in the pistol formation. Hand off to Brandon Jones, tries to get the outside, cuts it back towards the middle. Gets tackled from behind before gaining a few. Gains about 4, maybe 5. So not a bad run there for the Fargo Invaders. So 2nd and 5 now. Fargo's got the clock running now. Fargo's still trying to probably work out on a few things that they hope to be able to execute next weekend against the St. Paul Pioneers. Johnson looking to throw. Rolls out to his right, throws it up deep. Pass is incomplete, intended for Kevin Irby, but there's a penalty flag down. See what the call is on the field. Offensive pass interference on the Invaders. As I step on my cord one more time. Referee's trying to get the coach to answer the question whether I want to accept the penalty or not. So the penalty is declined. That'll bring up 3rd down and 5 for the Invaders. So trips to the right for the Invaders here on 3rd and 5. Draw play up the middle. Laquan Priestley spins off one tackler, gets outside the 20-yard line, gain of about 2. So that'll bring up 4th and 3. Bring on the kicking team one more time. So the Invaders remain conservative there and just try to run the ball. Got the clock running and waiting for the punt team. It has not been the smoothest of days today for the Fargo Invaders special teams. Confusion on who's out there for those specific plays. So 4th and a short 3. Tahir back to punt. It's away a good one. Drives good back to his own 37, 38-yard line. Making moves, trying to get down the sideline, gets past everyone, still going, and finally taken down inside the 30-yard line, down about the 28-yard line. So 12:19 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Fargo leads 35-0 over Med City. So as we move along here in the 4th quarter, we adjust everything here. 1st and 10. Moorhead Massage and Wellness is your home for therapeutic massage, intuitive massage, access bars, energetic balancing, and positional release, including Ayurvedic massages, contact Matthew or Crystal Franco at Moorhead Massage and Wellness, or go over to moorheadmassageandwellness.com. So Med City, once again, in good field position. They have not been able to take advantage of it today. Trips to the left this time. Sharpen takes the snap, looking to throw out to his left. Gets the pass out there. Picked off once again. Intercepted this time. Pass has been intercepted by Andrew Uglum. His first big play of the season. Once again, the Fargo Invaders are able to take the ball right back from the Med City Freeze. How many turnovers today is that, Matt? I know, that's what I had to do too. I think that's the 5th turnover today. Should be the 2nd interception of the, no, 3rd interception of the day, along with 3 fumbles. So 1st and 10 for the Invaders. Hayden Zenner running hard. Gets out from the 9-yard line, out about 4 yards. Good to see Hayden out there again. He had a high ankle sprain in week 1. Gains 4 yards on that play. So 2nd and 6 for the Invaders. Johnson and Zenner in the backfield. 4 wide receiver set. Johnson looking to pass out to his left. He's got John Bonney. Makes a couple guys miss. Gets out to the 25-yard line. Enough for another Fargo Invaders first down. So it appears 3 interceptions and 3 fumbles. That's 6 turnovers on the day for the Med City Freeze, or 6 takeaways by the Fargo Invaders defense. Clock running here, 11 minutes to go. Fargo trying to once again capitalize on another Med City Freeze turnover. But yet at the same time, they're trying to work the clock. Down, the play clock's already down to 10 seconds. Trying to work that play clock as much as they can. Handoff up the middle to Zenner. Nowhere to go that time. Going to lose 3 yards on that play, or 2 yards. So I'll bring up 2nd and 12. So somewhat an uneventful second half, with the exception of some turnovers. 1 interception by the Freeze, a couple by the Invaders. No points scored in the second half. Takes the handoff up the middle. Johnson rolls out. Gets the ball completed to John Bowney for another Fargo Invaders first down. Out to the 38-yard line. As I like to say, if you need a first down, find none other than John Bowney. He's the quicker picker-upper. So 1st and 10 once again for the Fargo Invaders. Finally getting some movement here on offense. 1st and 10 at their own 38-yard line. Clock still running. Under 9.5 minutes to go. Zenner remains out there in the backfield. Getting his first work in about a month. Draw play up the middle to Hayden Zenner. Tries to get those yards back. Hit and thrown backwards. Gang tackled by a number of Med City Freeze out there. Loss of 2. So Fargo is able to continue to keep that clock rolling. Peppering in some running plays here. Going back to the passing game to make sure they get enough for the first down. Irby and, nope. Irby and Constant Jackson wide left, along with Levi Romich in at tight end. Javante rolling to his right, throws it out to John Bonney, goes up with it, catches it, comes down. Pushed out of bounds. So pass is completed. I guess the clock's going to keep running. That'll bring up a 3rd and short. So 3rd and 1 for the Invaders. Another 11-yard pass reception by John Bonney. So 3rd and 1. Fargo's probably going to take a couple plays here to get this first down and keep possession of the ball, keep the clock rolling. Fargo really in command as far as time of possession goes. Johnson's going to look to pass this one out. Pass is complete to Kevin Irby. Catches it, turns the corner down the sideline. Penalty flag, though. We'll see what it is. My guess it's going to be maybe holding or something down the field. Once again, pass interference. Offensive pass interference on the Invaders. Oh, illegal block in the back. I'm sorry. So 7:13 remaining here in the 4th quarter. So I guess it's blocking downfield on the Invaders. And that'll back them up 10 yards. So it'll bring up 3rd and 11. So finally got a pass out to Kevin Irby for the first down. Turns out, I believe John Bonney probably started blocking too soon. And unfortunately, cost them the first down, backs them up 10 yards. Have to repeat 3rd down. Johnson back to pass, throws this one deep. It's got John Bonney down the sidelines, and he overthrows him. Nobody home there for the Med City Freeze. John Bonney was running wide open down the sideline. And unfortunately, they couldn't connect for yet another touchdown. So that brings up 4th down and 11 for the Fargo Invaders, and they'll send out the punt team. 6:53 to go. Got to clear that penalty flag icon. So 4th and 11 for the Invaders, as they're set to punt this one away once again. As I've said, kind of a uneventful second half, although the defense has been continuing to show its stuff, with forcing 6 Med City Freeze turnovers today. Lazonte here gets this one, kind of a little bit of a wobbler end over end. Like Quan Priestley missed the opportunity for a big hit on the tackle there. And Good is able to return that punt all the way out to the 46-yard line. So 6:38, let me update this. 6:38, 1st and 10 for the Med City Freeze. We'll see if the Fargo Invaders can continue their defensive field day they've had, forcing 6 turnovers and not allowing Med City to score, even when they had the ball inside the 15-yard line. Actually, they were even inside the 10. They were at the 10, and they still weren't able to score. So the scores remain 35-0 all through the second half. No additional scores by the Invaders, trying to keep that, work on that running game. So Med City with the ball once again. Man in motion, handed off on the jet sweep once again. That's Thurman coming around to try and get a little misdirection going and catch the Invaders off guard. Looks like he gained about a foot. So 2nd and 10 here in the 4th quarter. Med City trying to get anything going here. Med City with an incredibly tough stretch of games coming up, playing against some of the top teams in the league consecutively. Passes out off the hands. So 3rd and 10. Third and 10 for Med City here with 5:48 to go in the game. As we kind of truck along. Hopefully Mr. Matthew Franco and his family have had a nice time at the dance recital today. Not quite the same without the F1 updates from Matthew. Sharpen back to pass. Looking out to his left. Under pressure, just dumps it off to his running back. And gets taken down by Perkins. 4th and 4, gain of about 6 on that play. Nice play by Sharpen to keep the play alive and dump it off to his running back. So almost at the 5-minute mark here in the 4th quarter. 4th down for the Med City Freeze. Trying to convert here to keep the ball. Get another chance to try and score. The Fargo Invaders defense have not allowed that today. So we'll see what Sharpen and the offense can do. Man in motion. Put the man in motion, nothing happened. Under pressure, gets that pass off, stops, try to get that first down, does end up heading upfield and does get the first down at the Invaders' 40-yard line. So a pass out to E.J. LeMay. He's able to make a couple guys miss and get out to the 40-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Med City Freeze here in the 4th quarter. Clock back running again. So 1st and 10 for the Freeze. 4 wide receivers set for Sharpen. Still looking to lead his team into the end zone late in the 4th. Sharpen drops back to pass under pressure by Felton Somerville. Gets it out to LeMay, and he's taken down hard by Anthony Antonio. Gain of about 6 on that play, so 2nd and 4. So 2nd and 4. I think Med City kind of did not know what to expect coming up all the way to Fargo. Fargo Invaders defense has shown to be one of the best in the league, looking for another shutout. Sharpen back to pass. Under pressure, ball knocked loose by Jeremy Gordon. Ball still on the ground. And it looks as though Med City has recovered it. So that's a loss. As Gordon does his dance. Brings up 3rd and about 16. Loss of 12 on the play. So 3rd and long with the clock running. Jeremy Gordon was able to force that fumble. Unfortunately, he could not quite get the whole kit and caboodle there and force the fumble and also get the fumble recovery. I do believe he gets credit for a sack on that, I believe. Maybe not. So Sharpen in the Med City offense, struggling all day today. 3rd and 16 at the 46-yard line of the Fargo Invaders. Coming up on that 2-minute warning. Jeremy Gordon once again in the backfield. Ball comes loose once again. And he's Med City falls on that fumble once again. So 4th, and I think technically this is going to be a country mile. Back all the way at their own 43-yard line. Another big loss on that play by Jeremy Gordon. Clock is stopped now. See if they need to reset it, because that clock should have stopped at the 2-minute warning. Oh, hi. You hear me struggling to talk to myself?
What'd I miss?
Not much. 4 touchdowns in the second quarter. I don't know how many of those you saw.
I didn't see any. I saw an interception.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Hey, guys.
How was the recital?
It was great.
Well, that's good.
We had a good time. And I'm back for like the last minute and 42 seconds. Is that it?
Yes.
All right.
I got someone to talk to.
Yes, you do, for a minute and 42 seconds.
Now this broadcast is really going to take off right now.
Oh, I mean, this is prime time.
Yeah, I was even running the clock and everything.
I was noticing it. I was watching on the drive. It was great.
I know. Thanks.
You were missing something, though.
Yeah, I was. I'm too busy too busy concentrating on the scoreboard app there to try and figure everything out.
It's a lot here. I'm going to stand up for the last of this.
It's kind of been a weird second half. The defense has played outstanding, had some turnovers that they forced, but yet at the same time, no touchdowns by either team in the second half, and it's kind of I wouldn't say it lost some of the mojo from the first half, but to end on those 2 touchdowns within the last 2 minutes of the half, that was really a high point there. And the second half has kind of been. It feels like both teams have just kind of been here to round out the clock in the second half.
So those last 2 were those off turnovers, or how'd that all play out?
Yes, they were. One was a turnover, and then they threw a pass immediately to John Bowney for the touchdown. And then the next one, the Med City Freeze went for it on 4th and 5
So
at their own 25. Didn't get it, and then there was a penalty on them, a personal foul, so they got half the distance to the goal. So then there was another Quan Priestley touchdown run. So
it's 3 for John today?
Yes. 3 for John, 1 for Constant Jackson, and 1 for Quan Priestley. Oh, a sky-high punt only going about 5 yards past the line of scrimmage before it comes down, and it's downed at the 47-yard line. So that looks to be about a 4-yard punt for the Med City Freeze. That looked like that was going to happen to him earlier in the game, but it didn't. And the funny part is our first game here in Fargo for the season, the Minnesota Mud Dogs had a punt like that where it basically went straight up in the air and came back down. Actually hit off the guy's face mask to down it for a loss. So.
All right, we're back in business here. Let's see. You're doing a great job with the first down. Look at you.
First and 10.
Tell me what's going on.
I know. I had it all down because
you the man.
When it reset to the quarter, then all of a sudden it reset to 15 minutes. So
I love it.
So we'll see if the Fargo Invaders can maybe I don't know. Huh?
iPhone charger?
Yes, I do.
My phone died, so I lost my network.
Uh-oh.
So stats are stalled right now.
Stats are stalled right
no.
now. Oh, I'm trying to do this. Oh, where is it? Oh, I have it plugged in over here. Javante Johnson hands the ball off to Garrett McKinney. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe loses a half yard. If I can plug it in over here.
Well,
So 2nd and 10 now. For the Fargo Invaders.
let me connect to the jetpack.
So Javante Johnson joined to the backfield by Garrett McKinney. 2nd and 10. Running play by McKinney one more time. The middle this time gets a couple. So 3rd and 8 for the Invaders here at the end of the ball game. Clock under a minute to go. Going to have to run, I believe, one more play to get this clock to run out. So the Fargo Invaders will keep their 2nd shutout of the season. As we try and get our team president's phone to turn on. Exciting times in the booth, Franco.
Very exciting. Just so everybody knows the clock is the correct time.
I think it's going to need to charge for a couple more minutes, Matt, before you can get your phone back on. McKinney running once again. This time goes backwards. Loses about 7 on that play. Tries to get to the outside. It's taken down. And that's going to be it. This game is in the books, folks. Once again, the final score, your Fargo Invaders 35, the Med City Freeze nothing. Fargo improves to 3-1 overall on the season, 2-1 in the league, with a convincing victory over the Med City Freeze today here at Sid Cichy Stadium. So, Matt, what are your thoughts on today's game? Since you were so heavily involved in watching it.
Well, how did the line look? How'd that turn out?
Once again, the Fargo Invaders running game was kind of hit or miss. Brandon Jones had a number of losses, stuck in the backfield. A couple of the other running backs, Garrett McKinney himself. A lot of guys had some, Hayden Zenner came in the second half, got a couple carries, got sacked in the backfield. Quan Priestley ran the ball well once again. Nice burst out of him. Brandon Jones, when he did have a little bit of room, could make some things happen. However, statistically speaking, the running game is still pretty hit or miss as far as being consistent the way that the coaching staff would like that running game to be able to move the ball on the ground and also control the clock. Obviously, the big plays passing-wise with Javonte Johnson to John Bounty 3 times and to Constant Jackson once were huge in the game. So they were connected nicely, and then there was a tip pass that Javonte did have 1 interception today. So, but a far better game overall by Javonte Johnson.
And a tip pass. I mean, come on.
Yeah. So I mean, he made some things happen, and it turned out well. Let's look at the player stats here if I can get these to come up.
So what was the 5th touchdown? Was that a defensive touchdown?
No. Let me go over the scoring one more time. Yeah, Quan Priestley had a touchdown run.
Okay.
So recapping the scoring today, early in the first quarter, excuse me. Javonte Johnson hits John Bounty for a 25-yard touchdown pass. Extra point by Lazante here. That was set up by a fumble recovery by Vince Holmes. It was Johnny on the spot there. Early in the second quarter, Javonte Johnson once again found John Bounty for a touchdown on a 36-yard gain. That was after their second fumble of the game. Extra point once again was good by Lazante here. About 6:42 left in the first half. Javonte Johnson found Constant Jackson, who found a spot open in the defense, and then had a nice run to get in the end zone to go up 20-0. Lazante here once again with the extra point. 21-0 Invaders. And then the last 2 minutes of the quarter, the Invaders really put this game away. They had another turnover on what looked like was going to be a first down for the Med City Freeze. The ball got knocked loose, picked up and returned down to the 5-yard line. And John Bounty caught a pass, a really nice catch along the sideline of the end zone. Caught that pass for a touchdown and pushed the lead to 27-0. Extra point made it 28-0 by Tahir. And then kind of a little bit of a head scratcher, 28-0 in the second quarter late. You have 4th and 5 at your own 25-yard line with just 18 seconds to go in the game, or 18 seconds to go in the half. Med City decides to go for it. Not only do they not get it, they got a penalty after the play for unsportsmanlike conduct. Backed him up half the distance of the goal. So at 12 and a half, I guess that might have been 30-some seconds left. Excuse me. At the 12.5-yard line, gave Fargo, I believe, 3 chances to get into the end zone. First 2 were passes. Couldn't connect with Kevin Irby. Both times, pass was broken up. Plus, Kevin had stepped out of bounds. So then they ran a little draw play to Quan Priestley. He took it in from 13 yards out, pushed it to 34-0. Another extra point by Lazante here, 35-0. No score in the third or fourth quarter. So that's your final score, 35-0. Fargo over Med City. Statistical leaders today. Looks like Jake Sharpen went 11 of 28 for 89 yards and 3 interceptions. It doesn't look like E.J. LeMay actually ended up throwing any passes out of that quarterback position. He just kind of ended up scrambling and running while he had it. They were led on the ground by Starion Pruitt, 8 carries for 27 yards today. He was their leader. They were led in receiving by Andre Davis, 5 catches for 25 yards. He's number 5. No, that actually wasn't number 5. That would have been Todd Bland. No, he's a defensive player. There was somebody else that was number 5. They had some jersey issues. Fargo Invaders offense led by Javante Johnson, 13 to 27 today, so not quite 50% on the completion percentage, but 177 yards, 4 touchdowns, and only 1 interception, a 93.7 quarterback rating today, so much better compared to last game against Sioux City. Rushing, Fargo Invaders were kind of led by 2 main running backs. Quan Priestley today had 6 carries for 51 yards and a touchdown. He led the way on the ground for the Invaders, while Brandon Jones had 9 carries for 49 yards, no touchdowns. Quan averaged 8.5 yards a carry. Brandon had 5.4. Javante Johnson did actually run the ball once with an 8-yard gain, so showed what he can kind of do. Through the passing game, the receivers, John Bonney led the way, 7 catches for 98 yards and 3 touchdowns. Oh, that's yours. My bad. Cornell King had a catch. Constant Jackson had 3 catches and 60 yards and a touchdown today. Kevin Irby had 1 catch for 10 yards. Unfortunately, Nick Jackson wasn't able to come down with a couple of those passes, and Mike Arnold had 1 catch for -2 yards. Defensively, Jameis Neal led the way. Total tackles 6. Actually, Jermaine Armstrong had 7 total tackles. So did Anthony Antonio. Derek Alexander, Jeremy Gordon each had 6. Excellent performance by the Fargo Invaders defense. Even after a bad snap, and Chris Rendell was not able to control that bad snap when he attempted to punt, set the Med City Freeze in great field position inside the 15-yard line. Even at that point, at the 12-yard line was their starting position. They were unable to get into the end zone.
I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Lazonde here, once again, 5 for 5 on extra points. Let's see, Med City Freeze punt returning. I only have it listed as 4 punt returns, so there was a couple that went out of bounds. So it looks as though Lazon was busy all over the field. Extra points, kickoffs, punts. A lot of it. Not a lot of action in that second half, but that game was well in hand. So I think the Invaders might have called off the Dogs after finishing out that second quarter with 2 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes and scoring 4 touchdowns in that second quarter. Thoughts?
It all sounds good. I like a 35-0 win.
Oh, I want to say since you actually have the YouTube page up, once again, thanks for Sean Kaufman checking us out on the YouTube feed and leaving us a comment so we know how things are going. Ronald Buck, obviously watching from Oregon once again. So howdy doody, or how you doing? Again, he's talking.
Howdy doody.
I just blah, blah,
Okay.
blah.
Yeah.
So what's going on, Ron? And thanks for watching.
What's up, Buck?
Obviously, it was good to see a couple of our injured players here today. Greg Clark was here with his leg injury, and obviously I saw Rajanel Jean-Baptiste on the sidelines at halftime. Got a quick chance to say hello to him. Great performance today by the Fargo Invaders. Great turnout for the kids camp. They were able to do a little showing off of their skills that they learned today at the camp, and that was fun. I don't know if we had quite had the camera angle for that, but they were here, and it was good to see those kids. Nice turnout for that, and thanks to the parents for all bringing those guys out. Also, thanks to North Dakota Elite, Sloan Athletics, all the players and coaches that came out to help with that. The people that obviously sponsored our camp today, which is American Family Insurance, the DJ Coulter agency, DJ Coulter. Morgan Stanley, Molly O'Shaughnessy, financial advisor there, U.S. Bank Mortgage, and mortgage loan officer Melissa Schmidt, and then, of course, Kyle Olson at Keller Williams Inspire Realty, and all of our other sponsors. Thank you, obviously. Anything else you want to say before we wrap this up? And obviously, we'll be back next week at the same time here in Fargo.
Big game next weekend.
So next week at 6 p.m. here in Fargo, North Dakota, the Fargo Invaders host 7-time champion St. Paul Pioneers in a huge matchup, trying to position each team for the playoffs down the stretch, trying to get that home field advantage throughout, or at least through the first couple rounds. So for myself and Matthew F1 Franco, say bye.
See you later, guys.
No, not yet. I'm just, well, okay, whatever.
What?
So we will see you next time. Yeah, you betcha. Bye.